Hello, 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 hello. How's everyone doing? Apologies I'm late. I said I was going live at 1:15. But, yes. I had some... I was making my coffee. How's everyone doing? Hey, you two. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see ya. Right, so I am just trying to sort out. I've been trying to. Oh, Arjan, thank you for the sub, buddy. Good evening from a humid Thailand. Welcome, Rod. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. I don't know why my streaming service is not working yet. Allowing me to load up the track map and stuff. Let's just make sure everything's okay. But that's why we're on this scene at the moment. We'll have a look, of course, at the race strategies for today. The tyre allocations that people have got. And, yeah, have a little discussion about the non-penalties that were dished out. Should we say wasn't dished out to Max Verstappen. Very, very dubious. And, yeah. Got a few things to say on that, to be perfectly honest with you guys. Right, let's just see everything's working okay. Stroll will be a... Yes, Stroll is not starting, guys. He is not starting. Just too injured, apparently. He's not in a good place, so... Why is he not, like, unlocked that yet? That seems a bit odd. They're all round to the tracks. I don't know why my track map is not loading up and stuff and all the data. But we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait. So what? Oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that now. Yeah. Has your name changed yet? Let me know if your name's changed. Verstappen will be in the top 5. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say Verstappen won't make it to the top 5. I think every car that is... well, I say every car that's ahead of him. I don't think he's going to get past the top 5 who are there now. I think they're too quick. I think Lewis is going to have good race pace. So, right, give me 2 seconds. Where is my settings? It hasn't changed. It has. Okay. Lovely. Oh. Why has that not come up? I can't find her. Sorry, I'm trying to make the missus a mod. She's not coming up. George, do you want to message something in the chat and I'll be able to do it from there? Max maybe P7, P10. I think, yeah, I think it'll be best of the rest. I generally do. I think they're not good. I don't think they're great. Did they not manage to repair Stroll's car? There she is. Add as moderator. Cabana. There we go. Mrs. Stuffey is now a mod. Yeah, I don't know if they was unable to repair the car. I think it's because he's apparently, what I read, he'd woken up this morning, was feeling very sore. Yeah, and for that reason, he hasn't. He's not starting today. Right, why is that still not working? This is really, really bizarre. Here we go. No, why, man? Why? Give me 2 secs. I hope this doesn't do anything. We're there, guys. We're there. Can you hear me? Am I still here? No. Okay. Right. Sorry. I could go back. I was trying to change something on my VPN. Hello. We back. Apologies for the delay there, guys. Apologies for the delay. Hopefully everything's all right. I was trying to tamper around with something. My streaming software isn't quite. I say streaming software. What I'm using for the track map and stuff isn't working at the moment. But anyway, let's have a look at the strategies for today. Let's have a look. So. So I'm going to move you guys for a second. This is what we've got for today, guys, in regards to strategy. Is that not going? So, looks like it's going to be a one-stopper. That's kind of always been the case around here at Singapore. We need kind of a safety car to make things interesting, or there to be inclement weather such as rain. But saying that, I think we're in for a good race today. Obviously, with the grid set up, I think we're in for a very, very good race. I'm kind of hoping there isn't any safety cars actually, because I think the strategy is going to be intriguing. It truly is. So those are the strategies for today. Of course, it's tough to overtake around here at Singapore. I think it's going to be easier than in previous years because of the track layout changes they've made. Of course, no going under the bridge now. There's an extra DRS zone, so hopefully we see a few more overtakes than we have done. But obviously a very demanding track on the drivers themselves from an endurance perspective. So let's have a look at what tyres they have left. So Verstappen, interestingly, Russell and Hamilton have 2 brand new sets of medium tyres available to them. So that means that they are most likely going to be doing this stop here, the medium to hard, and I reckon they presume that there's going to be a safety car, because a safety car restart, having a brand new set of medium tyres to put on will be of a massive benefit to them compared to the hard tyres. So, of course, Verstappen and Perez have a brand new set of softs because they didn't make it to Q3. But the soft tyre isn't really going to come too much into play today. I mean, it would surprise me if they do start on the softs, the Red Bulls, because they've got great tyre life compared to everyone else. Maybe not this weekend, so we'll see. Of course, Piastri's got 3 sets because he didn't make it out of Q1, sorry. Norris has, yeah. So all the top guys have pretty much similar tyres except for Russell and Hamilton. The guys lower down, yep, pretty standard to be honest with you. Let's have a look at obviously the fastest time so far. Lando, fastest time on hards, Charles on mediums, and the softs for Carlos Sainz. This is in practice sessions. So we're on C3, C4, C5. We're at the softest end of the range this weekend because Singapore isn't really too bad on the tyres. When does the race start? The race starts, yes, on the hour. So just over half an hour or half an hour now until the race starts. So this is an interesting graphic here, guys. So this graphic, what this does, this just explains here and puts into perspective where the load is put on the tyres. As we said, not a lot is really put on them around here at Singapore, mostly to the rear of the car because of the nature of like slow corners, high braking zones into slow corners where you need a lot of traction from the rear. So yes, very rear limited circuit, mostly on that right hand side. So yeah, I'm not sure. Ferrari, probably the one circuit where they might get away with their poor tyre life. So yeah, I definitely think Ferrari is strongest today, guys. Max needs 2 stoppers, 1 stopper with fastest lap to extend the championship. Yeah, he'll get points today. He's only starting 11th. He's a very lucky boy to be starting 11th as well, guys. Hey Spud, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. So yeah, that's that pretty much. Let's go back because I wanna have a little discussion about Max and those penalties. Hey Tom, good to see you, buddy. I'm still not sure why this is still not loading up yet. Come on. Don't know why the race still isn't up for us to load up, but Max. What a very lucky boy. What a very lucky boy for not getting those penalties. How he's got away with those penalties, I don't like it because there's a massive inconsistency there. Other drivers and teams have been penalised and given grid place drops, free places, I think it is, for a lack of communication to their drivers who have ended up impeding others. Now, because it's Max Verstappen on an AlphaTauri, they've not given him a penalty for it. They've used the same wording that they have done in previous penalties for the same thing, but then not giving him one, which I think is absolutely bizarre and just outright wrong. AlphaTauri didn't send a representative, which is very, very irregular. You can obviously understand why they haven't sent a representative because, as they say, don't bite the hand that feeds you, is the old saying. AlphaTauri, yeah, just it shouldn't be allowed. It shouldn't be allowed. That whole thing of them being treated as the same team, that they should have penalised Max for that. And the pit lane one as well is also quite dangerous. Very clever in their wording in regards to GP, Max's engineer, telling him, oh, yeah, we're checking the car. But Max was actually waiting there for traffic to come by, which actually is not allowed. It's against the rules. So but everyone I think is unanimous across the paddock, like from what I've seen online, on Sky and things like that. They're like, I don't know how that's not a penalty. Like, it's just wrong. It's wrong that it's not a penalty, regardless of who the person is. Like, how the hell does someone not get a grid penalty for that? Makes you wonder how much money is being passed. Well, it just breeds a bit of corruption, to be honest, and favouritism. Is it because they don't want Max to start further down the back of the grid because it would be less interesting? I think we're in for an intriguing race today, regardless, excluding Max. If anything, we're in for probably the most interesting race of the year because of how many different people can win this race today. Absolutely buzzing for this race, so the top three can win. Exactly. They should sell the AlphaTauri team to Lamborghini. Yeah. If Max get a penalty, yeah, well, he should have had a penalty for 2 of the incidents. The one quali situation where the pack is backing up, and of course everyone's trying to jostle for position. He's at the back of the pack there. It's not him. It's not his fault. And they all need to be kind of reprimanded for that, which I think they were. But yeah, I mean, the pit lane thing, and yeah, I just don't know how that's not a penalty. I think it was Lewis stopped at the end of the pit lane in Canada all those years ago, and Kimi Räikkönen went into him because obviously Lewis was trying to wait for traffic, got penalised for it, reprimanded, rightfully so. Obviously everyone stopped there, but all the other drivers were like, well, what's he doing? Has he got a problem or whatever? Like, it just seems very, very bizarre and doesn't sit right with me. Like, we want consistency, and it shouldn't matter who you are. If you break the rules, and other people have also, there's also been a precedent of people doing the same thing and being penalised for it, then regardless of who you are and at what point of the race or point of qualifying or point of the season it is, you should be penalised in the same way. So 2008 Canada, yeah, that was it, yeah. So Max a protected species. It does seem like that. It does. Since 2021, it does seem like he's been protected and he's been allowed to get away with a lot. And it shouldn't be the case, especially when there's other drivers this year multiple times who have been penalised for the same thing. But anywho, it's a shame. It's a shame. I am still waiting for my thing to load up with the track map and stuff. It's not there yet. I don't know why. Really don't know why. Trying to find out. But who's everyone's best bet? Who's everyone got? Yes, it's here finally. Give it to me so we can change scene. Two seconds, guys, and I'll be with you. Just setting this up. This has been playing around recently, and I don't like it. I like to be prepared and everything set up already, which hasn't been the case. Hang on. Right, here we go. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Lovely jubbly. Needs to go there. I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 tyre changes. I could be wrong. I said the same thing at Zandvoort, I think it was. And we all know how that went. That's more like it, guys. That's more like it. Like to see it. So only 20 cars. The first thing you'll notice, guys, from that grid up there is that there's only 19 cars starting this race today. So if you're just joining us, the big news is that Lance Stroll will not be starting this race. He woke up this morning from his crash yesterday, or after his crash yesterday in qualifying, and he's just not in a suitable position to race. I assume something probably feels very, very stiff. That's my assumption. He's probably woken up with a bad neck, whiplash or something. It was a fair old whack that he received yesterday. It's not the car. The car can be fixed. It's amazing what these engineers can do, like in such a short space of time with those cars. So yeah. That is the first thing you will notice. And of course, big news yesterday, Max Verstappen in P11, getting away with no penalties. So a very lucky boy there. Expect him to probably get up to the back of Alonso quite quickly. But the car is a struggle, as we know. That is a genuine case this week, guys. Both Red Bulls are struggling in that car. Stroll's giant crash at final turn Q1 will not stop. Yes. If not the car, shouldn't they have a replacement driver like Lawson? So they're not allowed. So the rules state that a driver to replace a car, for someone to come in, a reserve driver to come in and replace a main driver, they must have at least completed one of the sessions before qualifying. So they must have competed in one of the practice sessions. Drogovic, who's their reserve driver, didn't do that. So that means that Stroll, they're not able to put another driver in the car. Kind of makes sense that they at least have like some experience before the race itself. I always thought, no matter what, qualifying, like the decision had to be made before qualifying. But yeah, that's the rules. That's why they can't put him in. If Stroll got fired, yeah, I don't know about Stroll. I really don't know if he's going to continue. I mean, he will continue for as long as he wants to. I think his dad owns that team. Like, in the day, his dad has bought an F1 team for his son. I mean, fair play. But I think if he leaves, it won't be because he's fired. It's because he'll want to leave. It's because he'll become maybe disillusioned with F1 and move. But that'll be it for him in F1. I don't think he'll ever get a drive again. There's too much talent coming through. There's too many people waiting in the wings for a seat. And I think genuinely, I think the only way Aston Martin is going to achieve success is with Lance Stroll gone. Like, look, they've got Alonso, who's very knowledgeable. How long realistically has Alonso got left in that car? He's 42 already. Yes, he's performing at the top of his game, but let's say 2 more years. What, he's 44 maybe? They'll be very quickly looking at the youth. Drogovic is obviously a good place to start. And then, yeah, you know what it's like. If they show very quickly that they've got a car that can compete up front, they can have the pick of the litter, as they say. I think Stroll will decide to move on soon. Yeah, he's definitely not having a good year, is he? He started off the year in the worst way possible, obviously getting injured. So he's always been playing catch up. And then very quickly, he's probably put pressure on himself, not necessarily from others, but more so on himself to compete with Alonso. And he's just not... He's had one top 5 finish all year. And that just isn't good enough, even if you have received an injury. How much is that injury still playing on his mind? Has he even recovered fully? I mean, it was a very quick turnaround for him to come back into that car. Even if you've got the best medical care in the world, a broken bone or a fractured bone is still a broken and fractured bone. Like, he was back in 12 days. That is something. Like, normally a broken wrist is like, if I remember rightly, my missus broke her wrist and it was, how long was she in a cast for? Like 2 months, I think it was. So like quite a serious amount of time. Tsunoda may join Aston Martin. I think Tsunoda is at serious risk. I genuinely think Tsunoda's seat is at serious risk. Lawson has come in and hit the ground running. I think he's in the AlphaTauri seat next year. I think it's between... I mean, my bet is still... If Danny Ricciardo, if he comes back and he has a good end to the year, apparently he's going to be back in Qatar, so Lawson's got another couple of races under his belt. If he ends the season, those last 3 races, Qatar, Vegas and Abu Dhabi, well, I think Perez is gone. And I think Danny Rick still takes that Red Bull seat. And then that AlphaTauri seat is up for... The second AlphaTauri seat is up for grabs. They've also got... People are forgetting, obviously, like the Honda connection or whatever. Tsunoda, there's also a very hot young talent, Japanese talent in F2 at the moment, which is Iwasa. And I think he's probably waiting in the wings to step up into that AlphaTauri seat too. So we'll see. I mean, how much time do you give Tsunoda? That's the thing. Or do you promote Tsunoda? Do they take a bold call and promote Tsunoda to Red Bull and give him an opportunity in a top team and a top car to see what he can do, because he's kind of stagnating in the AlphaTauri team? It's probably a combination, Fitz. He's probably a combination of like being injured, having this opportunity and not making the most of it. He might be becoming a bit disillusioned with it. We'll see. Hey, Petrus, good to see you, buddy. Welcome everyone who's just tuning in, seeing the numbers creep up now. Yeah, we're not far away from this race starting. Weather seems to be pretty good. We are 15 minutes away from this, this intriguing Singapore Grand Prix starting. I may have had a cheeky little bet on Lewis Hamilton to win today, because he's very high odds, and I just got a sneaky feeling he's got good race trim. I've got a feeling he's got a sneaky race car compared to qualifying over a single lap. And Hamilton in the last all season really has really like turned it on in the last like second half of the race. The Mercedes seems to come alive in the second half of the race. So if he's there or thereabouts, keep an eye out on a feisty Lewis Hamilton towards the end of this race. But yeah, Russell's definitely... Russell and Sainz are my two picks for the race this weekend, for the race win today. They do seem to be a bit of a cut above the rest. Remote Tsunoda will end up like Gasly and Albon. Yeah. I think... So I was having this thought the other day. Verstappen has been pushing for Lando to join Red Bull. Like, there's been rumblings here and there before that Red Bull approached Lando and that. I think Max is at the point where he generally wants a driver. I think he generally wants a good teammate who can go toe-to-toe with him. I think he genuinely wants that. I think he wants that challenge. I think he wants, like, okay, well, I've won championships now. I've regardless of obviously what happened in 2021, the end of it, he went toe-to-toe with Lewis Hamilton and he came out on top, of course, in very, obviously, dubious circumstances. But so he's kind of ticked that off the list. He's ticked the dominating years off the list 2022, 2023. The next checkpoint for him, or the next check mark, is like having a really competitive teammate who can go toe-to-toe with him. And Lando is probably a driver who could do that. I think he generally wants that. So yeah, keep an eye out on that spot. Maybe they'll throw a proper spanner in the works and just go to Lando. Yeah, we'll buy out your contract. Although Lando did sign a new contract with McLaren, so I don't think he would. No, then this is the thing, Eden. This is the thing. The only thing I think would make him go to Red Bull is because of how dominant they are. But then McLaren have made really good strides this year, and I think are back on the right path to being a top team. I think it would be a mistake. I think it would. But I think that's what Max would like. I think Max would like a teammate who can properly go toe-to-toe with him. Just so that he can tick that off the list that he's beaten a teammate who was more on his level compared to, obviously, the others who have come before him. Lando doesn't have any opt-outs in his contract, from what I understand. Oh, really? Okay, so he would take a serious... They'd have to buy out. They'd have to buy him out, which would probably cost, like... Well, Lando's not going to be on peanuts, is he? He's probably on, like, 20 million or something. 15 million a year. So whatever a 4-year contract is worth, it's a serious amount of money. But risk of rain, guys, is 10%. 10%. So, yeah, we're not going to see the Singapore race that we saw last year, where the race was delayed an hour from rain. And, of course, guys spinning off into the wall. But, yes, Violet, good to see you. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone who is tuning back in. If you're a regular to these streams. If you're brand new, welcome. We do these on the regular, have been since last year. Funny enough, Singapore Grand Prix last year was my highest viewed stream ever. So, yeah, hopefully we can repeat that today. And I don't see why not, because this is going to be a very intriguing race. I haven't kind of been hyped for a race all season like this one. So, thoughts on the Flexi Wing being banned? I don't have too much thoughts on it, really, Rico. It's just one of those things that the FIA have cracked down on. It's just one of those things that they've cracked down upon. I think it's obviously a loophole that they've found, the teams, and are taken advantage of, and the FIA have cracked down on it because they said their testing procedures aren't able to calculate how much the wing flexes or something. They've bypassed the tests. So they've also made floor changes as well, haven't they? Something like that. So the rumour is, or the hope is from people, that the reason why Red Bull has struggled this weekend are because of those technical directive changes. But this has always been a bit of a bogey track for dominating teams in the past. Mercedes as well struggled here. Suzuka will be a bit more relative in regards to if those rule changes have actually had an effect on Red Bull. Hey, Simic, I'm very well, thank you. You? Yeah, very well. Back to Formula One, yeah. Back to, obviously, you're joining back at a good time. You're joining back at a very good time. We are We are in for a very, very good race today. What kind of division did Lando participate? I have no idea. I'm not up to date on my karting, guys. I'm not up to date. I am super slow in a kart, so I don't keep too much of an eye out on it, to be honest. You're feeling a Charles Leclerc win today, Ben? Oh, hopefully Williams points. So Leclerc, yes, is definitely a possibility. Albon getting points or Williams getting points, I just don't. And this is like a big crash in front. They've just been off this weekend. Of course, they were good at Zandvoort, good at Monza. This weekend has not been a good track for them, so I don't see them really gaining too much today. Sainz, Russell, Leclerc win. I will tell you what, let's run a poll, guys. Let's run a poll and see exactly what you guys think. I can only pick 4. So I'm going to go... who do I go for? I think I have to mention the top 4, to be perfectly honest with you. Which means I'm excluding Max. Right. We got Sainz. We have Russell. We have Leclerc. And we have Norris. Here we go. Let me know who you think. Sorry, if you think Hamilton or you think anyone else, unfortunately, there's not enough spaces in the poll. So, what will be intriguing, guys? I wonder what the discussions have been. With Ferrari. Now, we know that they've let them race in the last couple of we know they take the view of letting them race, but if they truly want to win this race today, they need to work together. They can't have them fighting like they did back in Monza, guys. They can't. Leclerc is going to have to be a patient boy. Ferrari also need to be very clear. If Leclerc is quicker, than Sainz, they need to swap those positions pretty quickly. And if Sainz is quicker than Leclerc, he'll pull away anyway. But yeah, let's see. We know the history of Ferrari and their strategy calls. They're not very decisive, but today they need to be, most definitely, especially if Leclerc jumps Russell and gets into P2 off the start. Because if they start fighting, they're just gonna play into everyone else's hands. So, morning, Team Ho. Good to see you. Sainz is definitely the man to beat, I think, this weekend. Yeah, he seems to be in a groove. He's carried on from Monza. It's 2 pole positions in a row for him, and yeah, of course, was never going to hold Max back at Monza. I'm intrigued to see how their tyres hold up though today. As we said, not a track known for its degradation, hence why we only have the 1 stop, and hence why we're here on the softest compounds of tyres. But I'm intrigued. Obviously, we know the Ferrari is probably the worst on the grid at that. So, Yuki Part Suzuka, only if they chuck him in the Red Bull. Timo, it's afternoon in the UK. Yes, yeah. But not long, guys. Not long until this race starts. We are just over 5 minutes away from the race starts, and very soon we will see what everyone is going to be starting on strategy-wise. Let's have another rundown of those strategy options for those of you who are now just tuning into the stream. So, I highly recommend this page. I'm not getting... I'll move the track map over for the time being. So this is Pirelli Motorsport on Twitter. They have some very good graphics, some very good pieces of information that really give you an insight into what can unfold in the race. So, we have an option, well, pretty much as is the case at Singapore. One stopper is your preferred strategy with a medium tyre or starting on the softs. You could do a two-stopper, but is going to be a bit slower. Of course, a safety car could throw all of this out of the window. And yes, these become totally irrelevant, which brings us on to the tyres that these drivers have left. So, interestingly enough, out of the top 10 cars, Russell and Hamilton, the two Mercedes boys, are the only cars that have two fresh medium tyres available. Intriguing. Probably holding one of those sets of tyres back in case there's a scenario of a safety car. They can put on a brand new set of mediums compared to, let's say, Leclerc or Sainz going on to a brand new set of hards in comparison. So, of course, they have to run 2 compounds of tyres throughout the race, but it'll just give them that option to have a fresher tyre if a safety car arises, I believe. Of course, Verstappen and Perez have a brand new set of softs available to them, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see them start on the soft tyre. Red Bull's very good at tyre life and tyre saving, so I think they'll start on the softs, try and make some headway early on in this race, and then probably go on to the hards, maybe even the mediums because of how supreme they are in that case. And then, of course, the guys who didn't make it out of Q1 have 3 sets of softs available, like Piastri, Bottas, Zhou, and well, Stroll's not starting now. So yeah, that is pretty much it for that. There was a great graphic that really did show the load on the car here at Singapore. So we have, as you can see here, the load is mostly put onto the rear of the car. Lots of slow corners on exits, so of course more traction required to the rear of the car. Right rear is what takes the most punishment. We are on the softest compound of tyre here this weekend, C3, C4, C5. So yeah, the abrasion is not too bad for a street circuit. They've got obviously some new. They've got some new parts of the circuit relayed or track surface. And as you can see, braking 5, downforce required 5, track evolution 4, which we saw in, of course, which we saw in qualifying. So yeah, the right time to pit is going to be important. The undercut probably going to be, well, I'll say the undercut's going to be powerful. I think the overcut was powerful last time around. So we'll see. But yes, that is pretty much it. As we now have an idea of, whoa, Leclerc is starting on the softs. Leclerc is going aggressive, trying to get, that indicates they are banking on Leclerc getting ahead of, it is all or nothing for Leclerc getting ahead of Russell into T1, guys. That is a bold call. I did not see Ferrari starting on the softs. Max throwing a spanner in the works, going for the overcut on the hard compound tyre. So both of the Red Bulls gonna go long on their first stint, starting on the hard compound tyre. So a bit people throwing spanners in the work here. We've got Piastri starting on the softs. He's got 3 brand new sets. He's got nothing to lose here, to be honest, this weekend. Completely out of position. Be very, very fortunate to finish in the points. He's got the car to do it, but it's a tough track to overtake here, as we know. And everyone else in the top 10 starting on the medium tyres. But Leclerc, keep an eye out. We're going to have to keep an eye out on Leclerc of that launch down into T1 and T3. They are banking on getting Ferrari a 1-2 at the end of the first lap for sure. For sure. Do you know what, guys? Round of applause for Ferrari, because normally they're so indecisive. This could be a masterstroke for it. Could be a masterstroke. Because then that will allow... That shows to me that really Charles is is it the wrong word? Sacrificial lamb? it's like the priority is Sainz. All the data has shown that Sainz is the quicker man this weekend, has been in practice sessions. He stuck it on pole position, and you put your eggs in Sainz's basket. Leclerc is the support man this weekend. Get that win. Get that win. As well, the race start has crept upon us, guys, because we are 1 minute away from, well, a couple of minutes away now from this race starting. It is on the hour, 1 o'clock here. So, yes, here we go. Not long to go. No, Max hasn't won here. So obviously, thanks, Sam, for replying there. Different strats, love to see it. Yes, this race has got even more intriguing. More intriguing. So, we'll see. Red Bull batters this streak, comes to a dramatic close, yeah. Lance Stroll is not starting. No, obviously woke up feeling very sore this morning. So Guan Yu Zhou is starting from the pit lane. Obviously he was, I think he was 19th anyway, wasn't he, yesterday? So starting from the pit lane, the only car to do so, making some changes to that setup and breaking part Ferme rules. But here we are, guys. We are only a few, well, yeah, not long till this race starts. So remember to hit the like button if you can, guys, before this race starts. If you haven't already and you're new to this stream, please hit the subscribe button. We do these on the regular. Woo! Let's go. You're taking my... She's in the other room. Right. So, yeah, Bottas on the hard tyre as well, trying to go long. Albon on the mediums, Sargent as well on the mediums. So George is going to be super important. I mean, of course, George is going to be looking ahead, but Leclerc, they're splitting the strategy there between the Ferraris. It's important for Leclerc to get off that line quickly and ahead down into the first corner. Yes, so basically Lance Stroll, after his crash yesterday, woke up this morning and is not fit enough to race because their reserve driver didn't do, which is Felipe Drugovich, didn't do compete in any of the practice sessions. He is not able to jump in the car for this race. To replace a injured driver, you have to have competed in or participated in one of the sessions before qualifying. So yeah, that's why, unfortunately, Aston Martin only has Alonso on the grid today. She knows I love Suzuka. Thank you for the sub, Neville. Appreciated. And anyone else who has subbed in these recent moments and it hasn't shown up as an alert, big thank you. Right, so here we are. They are lining up on the grid, guys. Here we are, only moments away from this race starting. Where's our thank you as well? So, Sainz, let's have a rundown of the grid as they are coming onto their positions. We have Sainz in first, Russell second, Leclerc third, Lando Norris in fourth, Hamilton fifth, the Haas of Magnussen in 6th, Alonso 7th, Ocon 8th, Hulkenberg 9th, Lawson 10th, Verstappen 11th, Gasly 12th, Perez 13th, Albon 14th, Tsunoda 15th, Bottas 16th, Piastri 17th, Sargent 18th, Zhou 19th, and of course Stroll a non-runner today. So here we are, only moments away from this Singapore Grand Prix starting. Here we go. So Sargent bringing up the rear here as Zhou obviously starts from the pit lane. They are lined up and the lights will be on. And bit of a hold. Away we go. So let's keep an eye out on here. So it seems like Sainz has... let's keep an eye on Charles Leclerc. I think Charles Leclerc has jumped George Russell there, as Hamilton has also got ahead of Norris, of course. And Hamilton has gone round not only Norris, but his teammate, George Russell, as well, straight into third position. But absolutely brilliant start from Charles Leclerc there. Exactly what Ferrari was hoping for, as Piastri has also made up 2 positions there at the start of this race. Piastri actually starting on the medium compound tyre compared to the soft. A bit of a... error there in the graphic, but Verstappen makes up a position as well on Liam Lawson, who loses 2 positions. Of course, Verstappen and Red Bull, the Red Bull of Verstappen and Perez on the hard tyres, hoping to go long, but Sainz is away cleanly, already a second ahead of his teammate on the soft compound tyre. We'll see if Leclerc can keep that gap to Sainz, and well, most importantly, to Hamilton, and see if those Ferraris can pull away. But Terrible start from George Russell there as he loses 2 positions, and he'll be killing himself and absolutely kicking himself that he's lost a position to his teammate. Norris loses a position as well as they're heading down through the second sector into turn 14, into the new part of this track. So let's have a look at the start on the TV coverage and see exactly how that occurred. So it was a good start from Carlos Sainz and an even better start from Charles Leclerc. George Russell bogged down a little bit, slotted in behind. Oh, Hamilton took to the escape road. Hamilton had to take to the escape road as George Russell didn't leave him any room on the outside. And Lewis basically then, ooh, a bit sneaky there from Lewis. A bit sneaky, to be perfectly honest with you. I can't imagine George is going to be too happy about that. But as we are finished the first lap, and Tsunoda has again brought out the yellow flag. He does not like Singapore. He lost it here a few years ago. Are we going to see a safety car already? Can he get the car moving, or has he crashed? Tsunoda, yellow sector in turn 14 there, as Hamilton is all over the back of Charles Leclerc. Hamilton, feisty today, can smell a win, and let's see if has he been able to pull it away safely? Has he had a crash, or is it just a breakdown of the vehicle? They've removed the yellow flag, so I assume George Russell's report. Russell reporting, is he going to let me back past? Or, so yeah, sneaky from Lewis there, I must admit, in the first corner, and he did. Lewis has let George Russell back past. Oh, team orders there. Team orders from Lewis Hamilton. Probably right, because otherwise he would have got a penalty, I think. But Hamilton was all over the back of Leclerc there. So Hamilton a bit gritting the teeth, having to do that and let him back past. So at the end of the first lap, Verstappen, just overtaken there. He's just overtaken Verstappen overtaking Hulkenberg. Yuki Tsunoda has stopped. Has he got go in Tsunoda? No, Tsunoda has pulled off into an escape road. He has broken down, it seems. So, yeah, Tsunoda already out of this race, which is a shame for him. Only looking much better for Liam Lawson if he gets a solid race in here today. So at the end of the second lap, guys, we have your 2 Ferrari, Sainz and Leclerc in P1 and P2, followed closely by those of the Mercedes, Russell and Hamilton, as Russell regains a position from Hamilton after Hamilton's sneaky pass off the track, to be perfectly honest with you, having to take to the escape road. Norris in P5, so that top 5 there, starting to pull away from the field behind. Fernando Alonso holding up Ocon there in 6th and 7th. And then we have Magnussen, who is now being chased by the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. And as I say that, Max is side by side with Magnussen. As they head down into T7, DRS will be open and activated for him. Is Magnussen able to hold on to the position? He does. He holds off the Red Bull of Max into T7. Magnussen did report that he was going to make that car as wide as possible today. So Guan Yu Zhou is out of the pits and is on the hard tyre. Was there contact? Was there contact from Guan Yu Zhou somewhere, which has forced him to pit? Or maybe that's an actual tactical decision where they think they can take the hard tyre to the end of the race. Maybe they're seeing such little deg that they think that will be the case. 60 laps on that tyre, though. That's a long way to go. A long way to go. But yes, so Sainz, Leclerc, Russell, Hamilton, Norris, then pulling away. Ocon is all over the back of Alonso. I think Ocon might get Alonso here down into T16. And they're side by side as they go into T16, and Alonso holds on to that position. Verstappen still behind Kevin Magnussen as well. And then, of course, Hulkenberg, Gasly up a position. Lawson has lost 2. Perez stuck at the moment. They obviously struggled a lot this weekend. Now going to probably be hounded by Piastri, who is actually on the soft compound tyre. Come on, the data. Stop giving us errors. So a purple lap there from Leclerc, who is on the soft compound tyre. Understandable, but only 2 tenths faster than his teammate, who is now being chased by that of Russell. Hamilton. Oh, hang on. Confirmation from Mercedes that they did give... But they did let the swap-in of positions. Of course, just come up there. Turn 2 incident involving car number 44. Lewis Hamilton leaving the track and gaining an advantage. I imagine that will be scrubbed pretty quickly because he gave that back to George Russell. We'll see. We'll see. Woo. He was going so slow, maybe a VSC. No, not anymore. Joe is pitting. Yeah, I don't know if he's had an issue. But of course, look at that. Joe on the hard compound tyre. Fastest in the last sector and the second sector. So, Leclerc currently chasing down his teammate 1.2 seconds behind as now Norris makes a move on Hamilton down into turn 14. And Lando has got ahead of Lewis into turn 14, although Lewis is coming straight back at Lando. Of course, this is a new part of the circuit where they can actually make an opportunity to come back at each other. And Lando holds on to the position just from Lewis there and gains a position back into P4. Lewis back into P5 where he started. So yes, Lewis, who was all over the back of Leclerc until he had to give that position back to his teammate, now loses a position to Lando and is in the clutches of Alonso, it seems. So let's see if those two can pull away now and catch up to the back of the front three, because that is essential for him, really, and not fall into the clutches of the trailing pack behind, who is very, very tight there. I think there might be a bit of a DRS zone as Magnussen is, actually ahead of Verstappen there. I thought they was side by side as they came out of the corner. But a bit of a Alonso train forming. Of course, all of them have DRS there as they head down into turn 7. Tough track to overtake. Let's see if any of them can actually make some moves. Piastri up behind that of Perez now on the medium compound tyre. So Piastri will be looking to make a move on Perez pretty quickly. But those Red Bulls not making as much headway as people thought they might. Woo! Just looking at the restart, guys, it seems like Lewis did. Oh, so Lewis had to let Lando through. So Lewis also had to let Lando through because he gained a position. He gained 2 positions. Oh yeah, Perez has. So Sergio Perez. Yes, you're right, guys. So Tsunoda picked up a puncture, and Sergio Perez picked up damage by going side by side with. Was it Tsunoda or Liam Lawson? I can't tell, but yes, Lando. So Lando didn't fairly overtake Lewis, as in like wheel to wheel. It was Lewis having to let him through. So because he's done that, no further investigation required now. So Lewis can now concentrate on his race. But Leclerc and Sainz pulling away from George Russell. 2-second advantage from Leclerc to Russell. We'll be interested to see. Hang on. We'll be interested to see if Leclerc can make up time on Sainz, or if he's told to just hold position. Of course, this is where it's going to get interesting between the Ferrari boys today. Tsunoda, it makes sense that it was Tsunoda. It's difficult to say from when you see the rear of the car, but it would make sense that that's what caused Tsunoda to retire there. So thank you for the sub, Elvin. Thank you very much. And anyone else who has subbed in the meantime. So Verstappen getting stuck behind Magnussen, who is on the softer compound medium tyre compared to that of Verstappen's hard. But as I say that, he's got DRS open. Verstappen, is he going to make a move on Magnussen, who I assume will be defending on the inside here? But Verstappen seems to have got round Magnussen finally after about 4 or 5 laps of being stuck behind him. And now jumps up into 8th position and will be looking to chase down that Alpine of Ocon. And as we say that, Piastri also gets Perez, who, as we know now, is suffering damage. I say that, Perez is coming back at Piastri there, down into the last corner. Piastri wasn't able to hold on to it, but I imagine it will only be a matter of time until Piastri is able to get past the damaged Perez there. As we see, down into T1. Although they're going side by side. Oh, this is great racing between the two of them. Perez, Ministry of Defence, some people call him, as Hamilton now getting a bit of a move on, goes fastest in the last sector there. And Norris is catching up to the back of Russell. So Russell holding a consistent around 2-second gap to Leclerc, who Leclerc has closed up from 9 tenths to 6 tenths behind his teammate now. Norris 1.7 seconds behind Russell, and Hamilton 1.4 seconds also. Hamilton kind of really needs to get in that DRS of Norris and help him pull away from Alonso. Alonso doing a 40.6 and Ocon doing a 40.9. Now, I'll be intrigued to see what Verstappen does lap time-wise in a bit of cleanish air this time around. Of course, a 41.3 last time, which was due to overtaking Magnussen. But let's see how quick that Red Bull actually is on the hard compound tyre. He's already pulling away from the Haas's, which is to be expected. But let's see. I hope Lewis can win. I think anyone from the top 5 still has potential winning this race. Yes. Yeah, definitely. I mean, people say never rule out Max, but I think if it came to a straight shootout, I think those top 5 do have the pace on the Red Bull this weekend. Charles is on a tear at the mo. Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what is being relayed to those drivers right now. Target, no stopping. Please let me know when you need braking. So I think Carlos Sainz at the moment is just working to probably a delta. He's trying to set lap times. Obviously they've got a target lap time that they're trying to set. The likes of Max is trying to make up as much time as possible. So a 40.4 there for Max on the hard tyre that time around. Interestingly enough, Hamilton and Norris both kind of getting the move on down into the 39 ranges now. And Hamilton is now in the DRS of Lando. If he can maintain that, obviously they'll gain DRS through turn 13 to 14. But yes, keep an eye out on that. So Max is definitely quicker than that of Alonso and Ocon. Not quite got the pace, I think, on that hard tyre at the moment to compete with the front boys. But never say never. Never say never. Yeah, I am a Lewis fan. I'm a British fan. I'm a fan of the Brits. Russell, Norris, Hamilton there. Good to see those 3 in the fight for a win today. So, yeah, we'll see what they can do. Fan of Albano as well. I know he races under the Thai flag, but he's also half British. So, Haas have been doing good this weekend. Yes, yeah. I mean, if they finish 9th and 10th, that'd be good for them. They've had a pretty poor season, haven't they? Struggled to get points on the board after decent qualifying. But Red Bull are sandbagging. Well, they're on an alternate strategy. So they're going to try and do the overcut, go long as possible. I mean, even so, I think Max on the medium tyre on the long run in Friday was 4th fastest. So there's still no slouch. They're still like got a quick car compared to the midfield. And I would consider Ocon and Alonso midfield at the moment. I think Aston Martin has definitely dropped back into being the best of. I say best of the rest. Like you've got like 2 tiers at the moment. You've got Red Bull in a league of their own. Then you've got Ferrari, Mercedes, and McLaren, and then Aston Martin used to be part of that group, and they've now dropped back into that Alpine group, Williams, etc. Like. They're at the head of that group at the moment. So that's kind of what we're seeing. I expect Verstappen to get past them. I imagine the top 5 are probably thinking about tyre strategy already and tyre life. I reckon they're probably thinking about trying to make these tyres go as long as possible. Charles is probably the only one who's trying to set the world alight because he's on the soft compound tyre. So we'll see. Why is the pack all so close together? Just the nature of the circuit, George. Nature of the circuit. We're only 9 laps into this race. We have onto our 10th lap now. We have 53 remaining. The guys are probably thinking, as we said just now, about tyre saving already. Max, on the other hand, is on the attitude of gun-ho. I'm not thinking about tyre strategy. I'm out of position. Need to make up as many positions as possible. So hence why he's on the hard compound tyre. Try and go longer and when everyone eventually pits, he's in clean air and he can set some fast lap times. But last time around, Sainz and Leclerc getting a bit more of a move on there. That's a bit more like it from those two. They've had a few laps now of tyre saving, and Sainz just pumps in a lap that was like a second quicker than the previous one before. Russell a 40.0, Norris a 40.1, and Hamilton a 40.3. So yes, different strategies going on here. We'll see if the likes of Russell, Norris, and Hamilton respond to that push from Sainz and Leclerc. So let's have a little rundown of the grid at the moment, guys. So we have the two Ferraris up front with Sainz and Leclerc. I wonder how Leclerc's tyres are actually holding up at the moment. He's not too far away from that first pit stop that Pirelli were suggesting on the soft compound tyre. I think it was around lap 15. And then we have Russell and Norris and Hamilton. Hamilton, of course, having to relinquish 2 positions that he gained by being forced off the track by his teammate George Russell. And yes, I mean, he could have. I think he was. He ran out of room, and he was probably entitled to hold on to those positions. But yeah, to avoid a penalty, he's given that back. George Russell setting a fastest middle sector there. So yes, this lap time is going to be one to keep an eye out for. 40.09 now. I thought that'd be a bit quicker. Oh, hang on. So Leclerc and Sainz are being asked to break. They need 3 seconds. They need 3 seconds. That's what they're being told. So, yes, we have then Alonso, Ocon, and Verstappen there in the little train, forming a little group of their own. Of course, Max on the hard compound tyre. We have the 2 Haases who are being followed closely by the Alpine of Gasly, Lawson there in P12. The damaged Perez still holding up Piastri there, who has only been able to gain 3 positions thus far. Albon and Sargent bringing up the rear there, as well as Bottas and Zhou, who those 4 not been at the races this weekend, suffered with performance quite a bit. How far does Lewis have to catch from the top? He is 5.8 seconds behind Sainz. So if you look at this data, guys, at this table, so we have the gap, and the gap is to the front, to the leader. So all of these is how far they are behind the leader. The interval is the gap to the car ahead of them. And then if they've got a green, if they're highlighted in green like this, it means they're within DRS, within that 1 second range. We then, of course, have the DRS activation, whether they have that turned on. And then we have our sector times, the last lap time, whether they've made a pit stop, and, of course, their tyre history. So, yeah, let's see. I think this is a stage of the race now where it's all about, obviously, the Ferraris are trying to build a gap. 40.2 last time around there from Carlos Sainz. Hamilton. Sainz saying I could go forever at this pace. So they're all thinking about tyre management at the moment. None of them are pushing. The second half of this race is going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting, to say the least, because I think all of them have the pace to probably... They have all the pace to go faster. They're all kind of trading similar-ish lap times. So let's see. What is the green outline around the interval? Not entirely sure about that one, actually. I'm not entirely sure what that one is. Russell radio, so Mercedes are saying, look, it looks like they're going to sacrifice Leclerc today. So yeah, it won't be long till Leclerc comes in and pits. He's already 14 laps on those soft compound tyres. We'll see how long he can take them for. But I think what's going to happen is they are going to back Leclerc into Russell and help Sainz build that gap. That's what that 3 seconds was that they mentioned. So keep an eye out. As these soft tyres start to drop off, they see Leclerc hold up George Russell, Norris and Hamilton. And Sainz can then put his foot down and get away. I like that strategy. I like that strategy by Ferrari. It's decisive. Exactly what they need to do to secure the win today. So, Verstappen, let's have a Verstappen update. So, he is dropping back a touch from that of Alonso and Ocon. Of course, he is on the hard compound tyre. So, maybe he's dropping back a bit just to get a bit of clean air and cool down those brakes. Obviously, very, very hot circuit here. Very high humidity, 72% humidity, very high. So we'll see if that is strategic from him. Gasly sets the fastest first sector there last time around, trying to make his way ahead of those blockers at the moment of the two Haas's. Looks like Gasly needs to make a move on there. Ocon doing well staying with Alonso though. And then we have Lawson, who's in P12. Not too bad from him, to be honest. Obviously the damage Perez, Piastri, Zhou. I'm really intrigued to see what Zhou's doing. Did he have damage? Does anyone know if Zhou had damage and that's why he pitted so early? I don't know, guys. Interesting. So, right, Hamilton in the DRS now. He's the only driver who's in the DRS of the front five. None of them have DRS on one another as of yet. Verstappen also intriguingly 1.4 seconds DRS outside the DRS of that of Ocon, dropping back just a little bit further. I reckon that's strategic, just to try and look after those hard compound tyres, cool down the brakes and the engine, and just try and think about the long game, thinking about the long game, rather than get uptight, scrub the tyres, and just cause themselves issues. They can make up the time a little bit later on in this race. Charles Leclerc reporting. I think Carlos is slowing down. But Leclerc doing very well. 14 laps on these tyres. Of course, he's done 3 extra laps on these tyres because of qualifying. They're a used set of tyres. But yes, Norris now in the DRS of George Russell, intriguingly. Be interested to see if Lewis actually makes a move on Norris, if it becomes available. As Hamilton sets the fastest first sector there of anyone yet, down into the 28 seconds. Of course, DRS assisted. So maybe Hamilton seeing an opportunity here to get ahead of Norris and break that sandwich that Norris currently is the meat of the Mercedes. Not bad for number 40 driver. Yeah, not bad from him at all. Alonso will win. So I'm going to end the poll. I'm going to end the poll right now, guys. So just so you guys, we asked this at the start of the race, who will win this race? I could only suggest the top 4 because that's how many positions I could put in the poll. 50% of you said Sainz, 23% Russell, 50% Leclerc, and 10% Norris. I definitely think Sainz is in pole position, no pun intended, at the moment in time. As you see there, 2.3 seconds to his teammate Leclerc. Slowly being backed up here into George Russell. George Russell making up half a second here on Leclerc this lap alone. So let's see if this is the time where Leclerc's soft compound tyres now start to come to the end of their life. They're going to use Leclerc as a blocker. Let's see if Sainz gets a move on now. And if he is, if this is the plan coming to fruition. Hey, Javier, good to see you, buddy. Hey, Xander. Good to see you guys. Much appreciated. Verstappen's falling back mega. I think it's strategic. I think it is very strategic. He's on the soft cam. He's on the hard compound tyre. You still feel the dirty air of these cars from as far as 3-4 seconds back. So I think he's just putting himself into a window where he can just look after the brakes, look after the tyres. He's on the hard compound and he's going to try and go. He's definitely doing the overcut. Probably hasn't got that pace differential to get past Ocon and Alonso without losing too much time. So he's just going to play this one strategically, go long on the hard compound tyre. And in clean air, I'm sure he'll put down some fast times and leapfrog Alonso and Ocon. But intriguing. I'm loving this. This is... we're seeing the strategy at play at the moment. So, of course, not a lot of on-track overtaking, but the top 5 are eking out their tyres at the moment. This is the first phase of the race, guys. Yeah. We're seeing the strategy at play as Leclerc sets the fastest lap of a race of 39.6 and Russell of 39.9. So those soft compound tyres going well for Leclerc at the moment. Let's see, Hamilton still in that DRS. So yeah, this is an intriguing phase of the race. The first pit stops is going to be interesting. That's for sure. Yeah, we get it, Paolo. We get it, buddy. Stop it, buddy. Otherwise, I will time you out, okay? There you go. The missus... See, the missus is here. How many laps do I want Sainz to win, to be honest? I want Hamilton to win because I've had a sneaky little flutter on him. I've had a couple of quid on him, so... but yeah, I mean, Sainz has been... It'd be thoroughly... I wouldn't be sad to see any of those top 5 win, to be perfectly honest with you. Fair play to Lawson. Yeah, he's doing a good job. He's doing a very good job at the moment. How many laps are they on? So if you look at the top of your screen, you will be able to see up here the time. Obviously, there's a 2-hour time limit for these races. Lap 16 of 62. So we have 47 laps remaining. One of the longest races of the year this is. That's why it's so hard on the drivers. It's so hard to support any single driver. Yeah, I mean, look, I have my favourites. Of course, the Lewis Hamilton helmet and artwork suggests that. I've grown up watching him. But yes, I support kind of... I favourite, obviously, the British boys. It's okay if you prefer supporting, obviously, your own nationality. Why wouldn't you? Or someone who's of the same nationality. But I like a lot of them. There's some I prefer less. But... yeah, I have a strong affiliation to McLaren because I grew up watching them. Mika Hakkinen, one of my favourite drivers of all time. Battles between him and Michael Schumacher were brilliant. Yeah, and I both like... I've never had a strong affiliation to Ferrari, but I do like their current drivers, Sainz and Leclerc as well. So, Sakir was the longest laps. Yeah, it was quite a short circuit though, Sakir, wasn't it? That was the alternate Bahrain layout. So, Sainz, fastest lap last time around of 39.3. We're closely getting to that 38-second mark, as that is considerably faster than that of George Russell, Norris, and Hamilton. That's over 1.5 seconds faster than Hamilton last time around. So, Sainz starting to get a move on here. They're seeing an opportunity to bridge that gap to the Mercedes team. Of course, Leclerc being that blocker at the moment, but Russell, Norris and Hamilton not able to close that gap to Leclerc. But a very long way to go into this race, 46 remaining. And of course, maybe just some games being played here, trying to eke out those tyres so that they have fresher hards towards the end. Of course, safety cars could be a factor here as well, as Sainz pumps in another fastest last sector there, only a tenth slower than it was last time around. Once again, another second gained on that of Lewis Hamilton in 5th place, and another half a second easy on Russell and Norris last time around. So Sainz definitely getting a move on, guys. When will the safety car come? I don't know. No one's making a move at the moment. Probably after the next... If there is going to be a safety car, it'll probably be after the next round of pit stops. We're not far away, guys. We're not far away from that pit window opening. So, lap 18, I think Pirelli said it was lap 20 was when the pit window opens. So, Leclerc is going to be very close to it now on the soft compound tyre. Now, the thing that is probably making Leclerc stay out there longer is that I don't think there's a gap for him at the moment. I don't think there's a gap. They're going to have to wait for the guys further back to pit. So they're going to have to keep Leclerc out there as long as possible for a gap to form for him to come out in clean air. Otherwise, at the moment, he's going to come out probably straight in that pack or behind that pack of Sargent, Albon, etc. Softs was lap 15 to 25. Yeah, so we're nearly there. We're right in that pit window now for the softs, but Ferrari are, of course, using Leclerc as a strategic option. I think they'll leave Leclerc out there as long as possible and try and hold Russell, Norris and Hamilton up just a bit longer to help Sainz build an extra gap. So, yeah, Leclerc's staying out there until his tyres have got no life whatsoever. Another purple lap there for Carlos Sainz. And do you know what? Leclerc, no slouch either at the moment of 39.6 on the soft compound tyre compared to Russell and Norris. So Russell asking, let me know what I need to do to win this race. And they said, we need you to keep the pressure on these Ferraris. So maybe it's time to get a bit of move on, George. Maybe it's time. Any rain due? No, George, no. 10% chance of rain. Joe really should retire. He's too far back. Well, they're hoping for a safety car. That's what they're hoping for, I think. How much time is it? I'm not sure, Mark. I'm not sure. Oh! So they reckon there's going to be rain. I take it back. They reckon there could be rain in a couple of minutes' time. What? It's only going to last a couple of minutes' time, but there could be rain on the way, guys. Oh, there's a double yellow. There's a double yellow. Sargent has lost it. Has he lost it into the barrier? Is he able to get moving? Has he lost it? He's had a lock-up. Is this a safety car? Is this a safety car? No, Sargent has got moving again. Sargent has got moving. Could this be a VSC though, depending on damage? I don't know what's occurred between Sargent there and Bottas. I think Sargent has lost it on his own. But there's rain on the way. This race is about to spice up, I think, guys. But let's see. I'm waiting for the TV coverage to see if Sargent has lost it there. Or how he's lost it. Has he spun it or is he locked up? I'm going to assume a lock-up. And that's definitely probably a lock-up down into T8. We've seen it there before. Albon did it last year in the rain. It's a corner that's very easy just to lock up that outside left tyre. We're about to see... Come on. Bloody hell, my stream's so far behind, guys. So far behind. But it clearly seems to be okay. Track surface slippery in track sector 7. That is what... is being reported there from Logan Sargent, or due to Logan Sargent. So Sargent, is he coming into the pits? Maybe he's got so stay tyre. There is fronting debris between turn 8 and turn 12. So yes, Sargent has picked up front wing damage. Oh yeah, he's locked up and gone straight into the wall there and broken his front wing. So he'll be coming into the pits for a front wing change. Oh, he's left a load of debris on the track. He's left a load of debris on the track, and yet it's a safety car. As I say that, it's a safety car. They have to bring out the safety car to remove that debris. He has littered the circuit there, and there we go. That has neutralised the race, guys. Let's see if anyone makes an advantage of this pit stop now. Will they come into the pits and change the tyres? Because Leclerc... they're really struggling, seeing that he did a 140.2. Russell was basically right on Leclerc as Sainz was pulling out a very, very big gap, getting a move on. So let's see if anyone comes into the pit lane now. Yes, so they're all going to come in and take fresh tyres. This is going to get interesting. This is going to get interesting, guys. So, right. We have, at the moment, everyone coming into the pit lane. Everyone's coming into the pits except for Verstappen. Verstappen is going to stay out on track and take net lead. No, Sainz stays ahead of Verstappen. Verstappen stays out on the hard compound tyre. And Russell gets ahead of Leclerc in the pits. Russell gets ahead of Leclerc in the pits, and Perez is also staying out as well and splits Russell and Norris there. So the Red Bulls are playing skullduggery games, and they are wow. So everyone has come in and taken tyres there. So everyone, as you can see, on the hard compound tyre now. So Verstappen and Perez and Bottas, who started on the hards. Obviously, Zhou, this is what he was hoping for, who is now going to, I assume, what is he going to go on to? Is he going to go on to a set of hards? Or is he going to come out onto another set of mediums or something? Let's see what Zhou does. But that's what, obviously, he was hoping for the pack to be backed up. But you can see there, we now have Verstappen, who is in second. Perez in fourth on 20-lap old hards. They are going to They are going to play some games, guys. They are going to play some games. That is for sure. Red Bull for the win. No, they've still got to make a pit stop. That's the thing. They've still got to make a pit stop, but they'll be on a quicker tyre at the end. So we'll see. Perez is on damaged. He's got a damaged car. He's got a very damaged car. But yeah, I imagine Sainz is going to pull away pretty quickly here from Max. It's whether or not Russell can get past Max quickly. We saw that Zhou, as soon as he came out on the hard compound tyre, a fresh set, he was doing purple sectors. So on 20 old lap hards, I expect to see those boys behind get past pretty quickly. But that's not worked out too terribly for Leclerc. Leclerc will obviously be on the attack now to get past Norris and Russell. Of course, Hamilton. So yes, we are... This is interesting. This is interesting. But we're going to have to wait until Zhou, I think, gets up to the back of the pack, and Sargent as well. So it's probably going to be another lap or so until this safety car comes in. So, oh, incident involving car 14, Fernando Alonso. What did he do? Oh, he locked up on the entrance to the pit lane. He locked up and he crossed over the line. And, oh, will he get a penalty for that? Will he get a penalty for that? He locked up, went in too fast, went onto the race circuit, and then back. Oh, no. Just watching the replay. So, Leclerc... Oh, no. So, Leclerc basically got shafted by the double stack of Mercedes because Lewis went slow, or slower, in the pit lane. He was holding the release of the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, which is why Leclerc actually lost the position to George. If they didn't double stack, Leclerc would have held position. Oh, it's just one of those things, guys. One of those things. So Max hasn't pitted yet, guys. So just so you guys are aware, Max hasn't pitted. Neither has Sergio. They are on 21 old lap hard tyres. They will have to pit again. They will most likely get overtaken, I think, by the likes of Russell and Norris, who are on much fresher tyres. I expect Sainz to pull away. It could cause something. We know how Max is feisty. He's in a car that doesn't have the pace this weekend. Something could happen. Something could happen. So we'll see. We'll see. But it's going to be a feisty restart. Oh, you're tuning in at the right time, guys. You're tuning in. Well, we have 700 of you in this stream, guys. Big thank you to if you're here recurring. If you're coming back to the stream. If you're new, much appreciated. Hit the subscribe button. And if you can, hit the like button, guys. Go on. You know you want to. Over 700 of you. Let's get over 100 likes. We're on 60 likes at the moment. Come on. You can do it. Before the safety car restarts. The safety car is in this lap. So before it comes in, come on. Let's get those likes to over 100. Whew. Why do bad things only happen to Ferrari? No, they're not bad things. No. Sainz has got the pace here this weekend. I'm confident in Sainz getting ahead of Verstappen. Pulling away from Verstappen, and I'm confident in Russell getting ahead of Verstappen as well. But here we are, guys. Here we are. The race is about to restart, guys. A safety car is on its way in. We are 22 laps into this 62-lap race. 41 remaining, with a little bit of rain on the way by the sounds of things as well. Sainz backing up the pack here. It was on a fresh set of new hard compound tyres, and they are away, and Russell is already on the back of Verstappen. Carlos Sainz putting out a bit of a gap on Verstappen there as they head down into the first corner. Let's see if anyone makes a move under braking as they are holding position. No overtaking until they cross the start-finish line, and, well, it seems to be that everyone has held position there on this safety car restart. Carlos Sainz already putting out a 1.1 second gap on Verstappen, who obviously has 20 old lap hard compound tyres, the extra grip from the fresh tyres, making that use there, Carlos Sainz. So Russell on the back of Russell here. Let's see if Norris can get past Perez. Obviously in a damaged Red Bull. Perez obviously going to make that car as wide as possible and try and slow up this pack. Russell all over the back of Verstappen there. Look, 0.1 seconds behind. Russell is going to be launching it past Verstappen as soon as possible. And there's a 5-second time penalty for Fernando Alonso for crossing that start-finish line. And with that extra traction out of that corner there, Russell launches past Verstappen down into turn 10. Does he able to hold it? No. No, he's still all over the back of Verstappen as Verstappen defends into that corner. Obviously, no DRS activated yet until the next lap around, or 2 laps around, sorry, on a safety car restart. But let's see if Russell can get Verstappen here down into turn 14, trying to make use, of course, of that extra traction, as I've been repeating myself this whole lap. And Hamilton and Norris are very close on the back of Perez here. Leclerc obviously lost the position. Oh, Leclerc lose the position to Hamilton there at the restart. Leclerc is under pressure as Norris finally gets past Perez there. I imagine it won't be long as Gasly also makes a position up on Magnussen. And Russell does get past Verstappen. Russell is past Verstappen. And now Russell can chase down Carlos Sainz. What a fight this is going to be, guys. The 2 fastest drivers of this weekend gonna go at it. I'm really looking forward to this fight. So, Norris also no slouch on the back of Verstappen already. And just watching the replay and some great overtaking and racing here, guys. Really, really good racing. Fair racing as well. So, let's see if Norris now can overtake Verstappen, who's struggling on those hard compound tyres. Hamilton now going to be the next to overtake Perez as they head down into turn 7. It seems like Ocon's having a go at Alonso, who has a 5-second time penalty. Magnussen on the back of Gasly wants to hold on to that. Ocon, sorry, the other Alpine. Guys, what a restart this is, as Hamilton has now got past Perez and Russell only 0.7 seconds behind Sainz. He will have DRS next time around as they start as they cross the start-finish line, guys. Norris 0.4 seconds behind Verstappen. It wouldn't surprise me if Norris also gets Verstappen this lap like he did with Russell, and then it could be a three-way fight for the lead. Oh, brilliant. How many DRS areas could we put in the circuit? So at the moment, there is only 2 down. There's one from turn 5 down to T7, and then there is from turn 13 to turn 14, the section they've just gone through there. And Norris has got past Verstappen down into turn 14. Is he able to hold on the position down into turn 16? It's not often, but we have seen the Red Bull of Max Verstappen get overtaken so easily. Of course, there is a massive tyre delta here with, obviously, these guys being on the brand new hard compared to a 23-lap-old hard. But still, that is an indication that this Red Bull is not the same Red Bull we have seen all season. So, Leclerc is the next one to attack Perez. And, well, here we go, guys. DRS will now be activated. Here goes George Russell. Is he going to be able to have enough? Don't think he is. 0.8 seconds behind Carlos Sainz as they head down into turn 7. It is a long straight here, but I think he needs to be around half a second behind as he goes fastest in the purple sector. And then, guys, look who's next on the list for Hamilton. Who's next up? Oh, yes. Things could get feisty. We know something switches. Something switches in Max's brain when he sees the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton come up behind him. So let's see. Let's see what happens, guys, here. I'm intrigued. So Russell close up behind Carlos Sainz at the moment. Is Norris going to be able to close up on those front 2 fighting? If they start to fight Sainz and Russell, that's just going to really play into Norris and Hamilton's hands if he's able to clear Verstappen pretty quickly, because that will really bring them into this fight. Flashbacks, guys, flashbacks. Big thank you for all the subs flying in. Much appreciated. I'll catch up with them afterwards. Big thank you, guys. And we have over 100 likes on the stream. Thank you very much. Keep them rolling in, guys. Keep them rolling in. Why not 1,000? 1 like for every single person in here. So here we are. So we got 37 laps remaining, guys. We're not even we are halfway. No, we're not halfway through this race, are we? No, we're not halfway through this race. What am I talking about? Yeah, we're not even halfway through this race. So, Verstappen still holding off Hamilton, but Hamilton will have DRS this time around as Verstappen does not have that from Norris in front. So, Lando Norris of 40.2 last time around compared to Sainz and Russell, who are doing 39.5. Those two definitely in a league of their own. Russell much closer this time around, 0.4 seconds. So, keep an eye out on the front 2. Maybe Russell will have a go down from turn 13 to 14. Maybe down into 16. There's a lot more of an opportunity for an overtake now. Hamilton not able to close the gap enough on Verstappen and overtake. This is allowing Leclerc to reel him in as well and close up that gap. So keep an eye on them. Perez, do you know what? Perez is doing a good job here. He's He's on old tyres and he's got a very damaged car at this moment in time from contact from Yuki Tsunoda at the start of the race. More side damage to the floor. So his car obviously already struggling this week. Yeah, he's going to be struggling. 31 laps is we're still. Hamilton went off the track. He went off the track. What? Come on, give me the position now. Perez is crying about Hamilton. Well, you're not going to get that back now. You're not going to get that back now. It does say that Hamilton had track limits deleted at turn 7. So, right, Hamilton, he's all over the back of Verstappen. Not going to be able to make a move down into turn 16 this time around. Maybe lining Verstappen up. Getting that toe all the way round the last corner down into turn 1. Russell not able to overtake Carlos Sainz this time around as they head down through the first sector once again. 39, low 39s from the front two. Norris just a little bit off pace at the moment at 39.4. Hamilton much quicker than that of Verstappen. Surely has to get the move done now. 3 tenths behind, 2.5 tenths behind. Under 2 tenths behind. The move is going to be done now. Surely with the DRS open, probably a bit of extra use of the battery to get the move done before they head into turn 7. But how easy is Verstappen going to make it? Is it an easy overtake? It seems like it is for Hamilton down into turn 7. He doesn't have to worry about going wheel to wheel with Max through a corner. And Hamilton now up into P4. Whew, guys, breathe a sigh of relief. Whew, sigh of relief. Hamilton and Max actually went side by side of each other and didn't make contact. It's a miracle. Miracles do happen, guys. But Russell not able to get Sainz that time around. Let's keep an eye on that interval now between Hamilton and Norris and see if they're able to close the gap to the front two. And Charles Leclerc is now the next in the target sights of Max. Let's see what he can do. Of course, they're going to run as long as possible, Max. They're going to be maybe even hoping for another safety car and try and get onto a fresh set of medium compound tyres because they get to put them on, and that will gain them some positions rather than having to pit and end up at the back of the grid, because that's what they are at the moment. If they pit now, they'd come out behind Bottas. They would lose so many positions. So they've really got to stay out there for as long as possible. They are goal hanging, guys. That is the reference. Goal hanging for a safety car. Never thought I'd see the day this year that we'd see Red Bull goal hanging for a safety car. But Sainz's father is proud. Yeah. How many laps Max defending this position? He'll defend as long as he has to. He'll defend as long as he has to. So yeah, same as Perez, all aboard the Perez train at the moment. Alonso, even with a damaged Red Bull, not able to overtake as Leclerc goes past Verstappen there into turn 7 with the DRS assistance. That seems to be the place to get the overtake done on Max with the extra grip out of turn 5, DRS down into turn 7. That Red Bull just cannot cope, obviously, without the DRS and with the lack of traction out of those corners. So Carlos Sainz in P1 at the moment, putting out a slight gap, it seems, on Russell. Russell had a much slower lap last time around, a 39.8 compared to a 40.2. Norris really getting a move on now. He seems to be quickest man on track, apart from Hamilton, who did a 39.2. Norris 1.5 seconds down to Russell now, so Norris getting a move on. Hamilton as well. Keep an eye out on Norris, Hamilton, and Leclerc now. Now they've cleared Verstappen to see if they're able to close that gap on Sainz and Russell. Have Russell and Sainz taken a bit too much out of their tyres earlier on there, forcing each other to push? We will see. So yeah, I believe they've got to take these tyres to the end of the race. That has been the pit strategy recommended by them. Oh, black and white flag. Magnussen forcing another driver off the track. So Magnussen has been given the black and white flag for forcing a driver off the track. I wonder if that was for Gasly, because he's been following Ocon for quite some time. Piastri doing well, by the way, guys. Let's have a catch up further down the grid as Alonso comes. Hang on. Where's Alonso gone? Alonso, the leaderboard was just freaking out there as Alonso fell down the grid, and I was like, I can't see him. So Alonso is fine, guys. He's fine. He still has a 5-second time penalty. But yeah. Ooh. What's wrong with Sargent? He crashed into the wall. He was the one who brought out the safety car, lost his front wing. pitted for the front wing, and yeah, he wasn't able to catch up in time to the back of the pack for the safety car restart. So Sargent is disgracing it. No, I mean, the thing is with Sargent, he's still a rookie. He's driving a car that's not the best on the grid. He's being given time. He needs to be give time. I think we can properly judge. We're too harsh on rookies too quickly, in my opinion, in F1. They don't get enough time to practice as what they do in other Formula Series. So I think next year is more of we can be a bit more critical of him. Williams seemed to be quite patient with him as well, and they realised that, and they're coaching him quite a lot. So yeah, be a bit patient with Sargent, and of course improvements to the car, confidence in the car. So we'll see. Right, so let's have a catch up, guys. Can Norris win this race? Well, yes, sure. I'm sorry if I butchered your name there. I'm just gonna say Shah. The top four now are within 3.5 seconds of each other. Norris and Hamilton have caught up to Russell and Sainz here, and you can see Hamilton is the fastest man on track at the moment with a 39.5 last time around. So Hamilton getting a bit of a move on now, and Norris now in the DRS of George Russell, who has lost it importantly to Sainz. Hamilton, I assume, will be catching up to Norris in that DRS. Well, he is, as I say that, is in the DRS of Norris now, and well, Leclerc might as well join in on the fun as well. We have 5 genuine cars here who are of similar pace going for the win. What we are seeing this race, guys, and what we are seeing right now is take Max out of the equation this season. Take him out of the equation, and this is what we would have seen in the majority of races this year, is about 4 or 5 cars every race going for the win. It would have been mega. We could have potentially had one of the most intriguing and exciting championships we've ever had, if it weren't for Red Bull and Max's brilliance this year. So, somebody tell me what happened with Leclerc. So Leclerc started on the soft compound tyre. He was used a bit as a sacrificial lamb to hold up the likes of the pack behind, Russell, Norris and Hamilton. And that's because Sainz has been the quickest man all weekend. And that did become the case until the safety car came out for Logan Sargent, crashing into the barrier. He then lost positions in the pit lane, guys, because he got held up by the double stack of Mercedes, whose pit box is right in front. So because Hamilton was blocking the release, George Russell got ahead of him, and Leclerc lost a position to Norris as well because of that, and he also lost a position to Hamilton on the safety car restart. So yes, that's why Leclerc is currently in 5th place. I think Red Bull creating a wall was defending strategy. Yes, they are at the moment. They're goal hanging. They pit now, they're coming out last. So they, apart from Logan Sargent, so they have to goal hang for some rain, a virtual safety car. They've committed to this now. They've committed to it, and they have to hope that's the case. And at Singapore, it's possibly true. Now the top 4 guys, the top 4. George reporting that the end. So George is reporting that the hard tyres will go to the end comfortably, guys. So, yes, everyone planning on taking these tyres to the end, but the top 4 are now all within DRS of each other. Now, this is where the games come into play, because do you go for an overtake? That a lot of time can be lost here by going side by side. So they need to make sure that if they get an overtaking opportunity, they need to make it clean. Otherwise, yes, they're going to lose a lot of time to the cars ahead. So we could see a bit of a train forming for a little while, just while they eye up and play some games to force another driver into a mistake. Because, yes, they could very quickly lose time to the cars behind. Can the Drivers' Champion be the person who gets second? Who do I think will win the race? I don't know. I generally don't know. It could be any one of the front 4 at the moment, and that's what I'm loving. I'm loving the unpredictability that we're seeing right now. We've got 3 different teams vying for the win here, and it's great for 4 different drivers who haven't won a race this season, because Red Bull have won every race. This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. Big thank you to everyone who was in the stream. If you subbed recently, big thank you. I'll catch up with alerts after the race. If you, obviously, it hasn't shown up as alert, likewise. We do these on the regular, guys. Big F1 fan, big racing fan, do my sim racing content as well. And yeah, we'll be back for Japan next week. It's an early one for me. I'm going to have to get up at the crack of dawn to do the qualifying and the race, but I love it. I love it, and I hope you're enjoying these streams and watch-alongs as well. So yeah, if you keep the likes rolling in, hit the like button, guys. Be much appreciated. It helps push the channel and the stream. What happened to Sarge? Sargent, yeah, well, we said earlier, he crashed into the barrier and lost the front wing, which is why he brought out the safety car. So let's just keep an eye out on lap times here, guys. So Carlos Sainz a 39.6 last time around, Russell 39.4, Norris a 39.3, and we have Hamilton with a 39.3 as well. Verstappen reporting, but it's like driving on ice at this moment in time, guys. He's yeah, obviously on very old 31 old lap hard tyres, just trying to hope for a safety car so that he can get a free pit stop. So Hamilton seems to have closed the gap up there on Lando. Look at that. Maybe there's an overtake coming here for Hamilton on Norris. So half a second behind Norris here. Let's see if Hamilton is able to make advantage of that slight little mistake there, it seems, from Norris. Let's see. He's all over the back of him, 0.4. He really needs to be, with a DRS train, I think about 3 tenths behind out of turn 5. Let's have a look. So Norris has DRS activated as well. And no, he loses just a bit of time on traction out of turn 5. That isn't going to bring him close enough to make an overtake down into turn 7. Actually doing a bit of lift and coast there, Hamilton, down into turn 7. You saw, obviously, the... well, look at the interval there. He's just dropped back to 1.1 seconds there. Obviously made a slight mistake, probably from that lift and coast down into turn 7, slightly mucking up his braking zone. Oh, Lewis, what did you do there? What did you do there? He's dropped back from Norris, or maybe that's intentional. I'm not sure. I don't think so, because Leclerc is now just outside. So we have 5 cars within less than 5 seconds of the leader, and we've still got just under half of this race left, guys. Love it. Love it. This is what I love. Reckon George will overtake? Not yet. Not yet, guys. No, I don't think he's going to overtake yet. Red Bull doesn't have brains. P16, 17 for Red Bull. Well, no, it's the only way that they could probably try and get a result today. They don't have the car. They don't have the pace. So they truly are struggling this week. Truly are. Perez has got a damaged car, so he doesn't really have the outright pace, even with a car that's lacking performance this weekend, to make his way through the field. So the only thing they can hope for is like a free pit stop. And nick these positions, 6th and 7th. But isn't it great to see 2 Ferraris, 2 Mercedes, and Lando Norris up there in the McLaren? If Piastri didn't get caught out in Q1, I think Piastri would be up there as well, possibly. So, yeah, Russell reporting, are we going for the win? Are we going for the win? It's like, yeah, we're on the same page. We're on the same page. It don't make the racing sound when you subscribed. It made the racing sound with me. It should be working. I'm hearing it my end. You guys should definitely hear it. You guys should definitely hear it. But yeah. Woo. Woo. Perez doing a great truly train. Yeah. Hamilton is falling off a bit. He is a touch. I mean, he's regained a little bit now. The thing is that what we're in a bit of cat and mouse at the moment, because the thing is, guys, is that they've got to make these tyres last to the end of the race. We're also at a circuit where it's very easy to lose time if you go side by side from one another. If Hamilton, let's say Hamilton and Norris go side by side, right? Hamilton makes a move, go side by side. They can lose 5 seconds, 6 seconds, just like that, by going side by side for a couple of corners, because of how slow, because of how the nature of the corners here, because of how slow they are. Like that could be a lot of time for them to then make up, which then obviously they probably could make up, but it means that they've got to then. It means that they've got to, like, use their more tyre life to catch back up again, which is only going to hurt them in the end. So I expect to probably see this train continue for a little while, until a little bit later on in the race, unless someone makes a visible mistake and they go for a move. I think the only person who might force a move is Russell, because he knows it's for the win. But Norris and Hamilton, it's like, well, the top 5 here all have an opportunity for the win, genuinely. Probably not Leclerc, because I think that will go to Sainz regardless. They'll be prioritising, but Madison, go for it with greetings from Denmark. Yeah, he's doing all right in P10 at the moment. He's holding up Gasly. He's been holding him up for a while, for quite some time. So yeah, all aboard the Magnussen train at the moment. He has been given a black and white flag though for forcing another driver off the track. So keep an eye out on that. Alonso has a 5-second time penalty. So if he keeps within 5 seconds of Alonso, which at the moment he's not, he'll be able to gain an extra position. But yeah. As kind of has been the case all year with the Haas's, they've had good qualifying pace, but not great over race day. So, yeah, well, Verstappen, the reason Verstappen's lost a lot of time to Leclerc is because he hasn't pitted yet. He's on 34-lap old hard tyres, guys. 34 laps is a long time on those hard tyres. As we said, they're goal hanging at the moment. Maybe even just trying to pull out a gap, but they're not putting out a big enough of a gap to those behind to make a pit stop. There is a gap forming, obviously, to Magnussen, so they're going to try and take those hards as long as possible and maybe pit then, or hoping for a safety car. But yes, the top 5, well, maybe not Leclerc, but the top 4 definitely in a position at the moment where they're just trying to eye up and suss the drivers up ahead. Is it going to be who makes the first mistake, a slight little lock up here or there? So yeah, bit of a lull in the action. And as we say that, Magnussen is about to be overtaken, or he's defending from Gasly, who has also got to be wary of Piastri behind. As Magnussen loses 2 positions there. Magnussen actually loses 3 positions to Gasly, Piastri, and Lawson. What happened to Magnussen there? Magnussen definitely had an off, and Magnussen might have damage. Magnussen might have damage here, I think. He's lost a position to Hulkenberg and to Albon. Oh no, it's commentator's curse. Commentator's curse, guys. We've just cursed Magnussen. Oh no. He's now dropped down to 15th there. What happened? What happened? I'm waiting for the TV coverage to catch up. I mean, he seems to be on the move still, but he's definitely lost out there from maybe being shoved out wide. I'm not sure. But yeah, commentator's curse. I think he's got damage, as he's now losing another position to Zhou. He's about to lose 6 positions in 1 lap. I'm sorry. I should have kept my mouth shut. Oh no. Where's the TV cut? Come on. I want to see what happens. They've surely got to cover that, because he lost so many positions. Yet Gasly and Magnussen noted forcing another driver off the track. So there's definitely a coming together there from Magnussen and Gasly. And I think Magnussen has picked up damage. Or maybe he's just been swamped by those drivers behind. Because, yeah, they are... he's lost out there, but he is continuing. Oh, yeah, he was just going really slow. He just got shoved off. Has he got damage? He hasn't got damage. He just then got caught out. Obviously, he probably got a lot of dirt on his tyres by going offline. Yeah, and then just got swamped. He just got swamped. Wow. Sorry I opened my mouth, guys, if you're a fan of Kevin Magnussen there. Right. Let's have a check. So, on the top 4, guys, Leclerc starting to lose a bit of time to those top 4, or maybe he's just sitting back, looking after those tyres, trying to get a little bit of clean air, cool the brakes, cool the engine, and yes, he's got enough pace, it seems. So, they are definitely in a league of their own, this top 5. How good is it to see this? If you're just tuning in, guys, we are 26 laps left of the Singapore Grand Prix, and well, Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, after a safety car brought out by Logan Sargent from crashing into the barrier and losing his front wing, he is able to continue. Perez and Verstappen stayed out on the hard compound tyre, and well, everyone came in and pitted. And well, what we're seeing now is Max and Perez, who got damage earlier on in the race, goal hanging pretty much for a safety car so that they can get a free pit stop. Max might form a gap. They're trying to form a gap probably to Perez, but I don't think it's going to be enough for him to get a pit stop there. But we have obviously the top 5 now on the hard compound tyre going to the end. playing a bit of games at the moment. Playing a bit of games. Just trying to... it's going to be... Oh, when do you reckon they're going to start making moves? I reckon maybe 10 laps left, they might start making moves. Do you think the front ends can hold on their house? Yes, they will, yeah. As Russell said, they're going very well. Track degradation or degradation of tyres is not a lot here. So, yeah, that's why it's a one-stop and why they can take the hards a very long way. So, how's Lawson getting on? P12 at the moment, not doing bad. Piastri now chasing down Gasly. Piastri one position away from gaining a spot, a points position, by the way, guys. And to be honest, he's right up there behind Alonso as well. So he is in a points position because Alonso has a 5-second time penalty for going over the pit lane entry. So, yeah, Piastri doing well. It's a shame Piastri... I generally think we would have had 6 cars up there this weekend for this race now if Piastri didn't get knocked out in Q1. Ferrari sandwich just too satisfying to watch. Yeah. So Sainz, or maybe Sainz is giving a bit of information away there. So Sainz just said, "Let me know when you want me to push. I have at least 1 second in hand." Whoa, what's going on? Lag. My heart skipped a beat there for a second, guys. Sainz reporting that he has 1 second of pace in hand. So, yes, we will see if that is genuinely the case. Maybe the others do as well behind. But that's a lot of information that we do see, or that he's willing to give away there. That's intriguing. That is intriguing. Max should pit right now. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The problem is that they don't have the pace this weekend to fly past cars on the straight. That's why they're trying to stay out as long as possible. Yeah. And then, that's brilliant. Russell's engineer came on the radio and just reported to him, well, Sainz has just reported he's got a second of pace in hand, and Russell went, I'm surprised he didn't say 2. So we will see. We'll see what happens towards the end of this race. It's intriguing, guys. We're in a very intriguing point of this race. Bit of a gap forming now, obviously. Ocon's obviously past Alonso. Alonso now past Perez, and Piastri, I'm sure, will be the next to get past Perez pretty quickly. But let's see. But yeah, guys, if you're enjoying this stream, please hit the subscribe button if you're new here. We have 1,700 of you here. Welcome, everyone. I'm sure you're all from across the world. Let me know in the comments below. Perez into the pits. So Perez has finally made that pit stop after losing a couple of positions there. Now is the time to make the pit stop, get onto some fresh tyres. As they're getting very close up front. Very, very close up front. But yeah, guys, let me know who you think is going to win this race. It is very hard to predict right now. Of course, Sainz is in pole position, led from the start thus far. George Russell in P2, Norris in P3, and of course Hamilton in P4. And Sneaky Leclerc sitting there in P5 at the moment as well, waiting to pounce. We're in for a stormer of a last 20 laps, guys. I think so. Who's going to be the first to pull the trigger? That is the thing. Who is the first to make that overtaking opportunity? Because at the moment they're just managing tyres and no one's trying anything. It's who's going to make that first move. That's what I'm intrigued for. Any of the British for the win. Russell quickest sector 1. Yep. So maybe Russell's thinking about getting a move on. We'll see. Norris at DRS. Yep, he is at the moment, as well as Hamilton, although Hamilton did pick up DRS that time around. Thank you for the subs that are coming in, much appreciated. Keep hitting the like button, guys. Keep hitting the like button. We're only there's 1,800 of you in here, and we've only got 167 likes. Come on, let's get that to 500. I'm an ambitious guy. As Verstappen now into the pits. So they've pulled the trigger on that pit stop. Let's see where Max comes out. What tyre is he going to go on to? Perez went onto the medium compound tyre. I assume Verstappen will as well. And Verstappen is going to come out behind Magnussen down into 15th position. Perez is actually behind Logan Sargent at this moment in time. And that is why they were holding out for a safety car, guys, which just hasn't happened for them. Very, very poor weekend from the Red Bulls. I don't think anyone would have expected that. Anyone at the start of this weekend. As Bottas is in the pits now, 40 laps on the hard compound tyre. Wow. Fair play by Bottas. But yes, top 5 still close together. Less than 5 seconds separating the top 5 at the moment in this little train. This is so good to watch. So good to watch. Love it. It is, do you know what? This is the race. This is what we could have had all season if Red Bull and Max didn't do what they've done this season. Because it's been really close. If you look at the results, if you go back through the season and you remove just Red Bull in general, actually, if you remove Red Bull, specifically Max, because obviously he's been the better performer, but Perez was good at the start of the season. If you remove them from the races, look how tight the finishes have been and the races would have been. It would have been one of the best championships of all time. A multi-car championship as well. Multi drivers competing for the championship. It would have been great. It would have been great. I might actually go do that afterwards and just have a look. It'd be interesting to see. Oh no, a bit of a lag here with the track map. Let's see what happens. Come on. There we go. There we go. It's caught up. It's caught up, guys. Apologies. Seems to be suffering a little bit every now and then, so apologies for that slight delay. But yes, Sainz still in first place with Russell close behind, Norris in the DRS. Hamilton's just dropped back a little bit. I wonder if that was maybe due to a mistake or if that's intentional. Just going to drop back just a touch to get some clean air. Maybe prepping himself for an attack. But yes, they're all very close still at the front of this pack. We have Ocon in P6, pulling away from Fernando Alonso, who has a 5-second time penalty. We have Gasly in P8. Gasly looking to overtake Alonso and get a decent haul of points for the Alpines after a last couple of shockers. Terrible race for them at Monza, wasn't it? Piastri in P9, up 8 positions thus far. Really hard to do at this circuit, so well done, Piastri. A shame, obviously, about that getting caught out by Lance Stroll's crash and not being able to make it out of Q1. So, Lawson in P10. Go on, Lawson. Lawson in the points. Go on, the boy. Hulkenberg in P11. Albon in P12. Zhou is now up 6 positions after pitting very early and starting from the pit lane. He's the only guy to have actually used 3 tyres this race thus far. We have Magnussen, of course, who got shoved off by Gasly in P14. And we have Verstappen, who is now in P15. Might be able to make up some positions, Max, because he's on a much fresher medium compound tyre. But yeah, not very good for them as Perez is chasing down Logan Sargent. And Bottas bringing up the rear as well. So, whew. Law Boy. No, I said come on the boy. But yeah, Law Boy's not bad. I might steal that. You'll be not surprised to hear, Petrus, my favourite circuit is Silverstone. That is to watch races round and to also race in the sim. Oh, there's a yellow flag. There is a yellow flag. Is this going to throw a spanner in the works? It's Ocon. Ocon has come to a stop into the first sector. What has occurred here? Is this due to a spin or is this due to a breakdown again of the Alpine cars? Reliability, an absolute shocker for them this year. What has happened? Where has he pulled off? What has occurred? We are waiting to see if this turns into a VSC or a safety car, but this could throw things as the leaders are coming round to the start, coming around the last corner now, and they're going to miss the opportunity of a VSC if it comes out and a free pit stop. So they've all gone by, so no one is going to benefit from, and it's a VSC as they just go round the last corner. The VSC is thrown, so none of them are able to take advantage of a cheap pit stop. Of course, being able to go through the pit lane entry and the exit at full speed, it does reduce your pit stop time. But yes, is this going to be a full safety car? Obviously, there's a lot of concrete around the area, guys, so I imagine it's probably safe to remove that car without getting a vehicle on track. But yes, I'm intrigued to see where he's actually. Oh, so he's on the left-hand side. Oh, Ocon's fuming, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him. The engine's just gone. So he's on the left-hand side of turn 2. So they might be able to wheel that back safely. Or has he exited the pit lane? There's going to be a safety car here, guys. We're going to get another safety car. Oh, Red Bull must be kicking themselves. Red Bull be kicking themselves, guys, because they pitted only a couple of laps earlier for a fresh set of tyres, and well, they're now obviously missed that free pit stop, and they were goal hanging for this. They were goal hanging for this reason. So it'd be interesting to see. Anyone going to come into the pits? It seems like the Ferrari mechanics are waiting, guys. The Ferrari mechanics are waiting for the drivers to come round. As Sainz is going, obviously, well, they're going slow because it's... So 15 seconds for a pit stop it will be in the VSC. Let's see if there's any games that are going to happen here. Is there going to be a double stack between the Mercedes? Are they going to try and launch Norris? I don't think they're going to be able to. This has got to be a full safety car. Why are they still waiting? Let's see. Let's see. They've definitely got to come in and pit. They've definitely got to come in and pit. Mercedes, importantly, guys, this is what they was hoping for. Mercedes, importantly, have 2 brand new sets of medium tyres to use today. So they're going to be put on to a brand... And Sainz stays out. Sainz stays out. Both Mercedes are coming in, and Sainz and both Ferraris and Norris stay out. Intriguing. Wow. Is this the right call? Is this the right call? Do Mercedes think this is going to be a full safety car and this is what they're banking on? They're waiting a very long time to throw a full safety car, but Mercedes might have played an absolute blinder here, because if there's a full safety car, they would have got a pit stop here that... Let's see. But importantly, Russell and Hamilton on 2 brand new sets of medium tyres. They are on the brand new sets, whereas Sainz, Norris and Leclerc don't have a brand new set of mediums available to them. They'll be on a used set of tyres. But what they would go on to is a used set of soft tyres. So would a used set of softs last that long? Probably, but they might fall off. You'd think the medium tyre is probably the better tyre to be on. We'll see. VSC is ending. So the VSC is ending. So Russell and Hamilton have a bit of time in these last 18 laps to make up on Leclerc, Norris and Sainz. But they're on brand new set of medium tyres. If I remember rightly, Verstappen was doing around 136s on the medium tyres. Russell and Hamilton have got to make up a lot of time here. They've got to make up 20 seconds on the leader. Let's see. We are in for a stormer now because the Mercedes need to get aggressive. Let's see. Let's see what happens, because they're going to be on the hard compound tyre. Sainz, Norris and Leclerc need to get a move on now. We are in for a stormer of a last of this Singapore Grand Prix, because it's hammer time for the Mercedes boys. Keep an eye out on those lap times, and importantly, guys, keep an eye out on the gap and the interval. Keep an eye out on those deltas, because now there is going to be 20 fresh mediums compared to 25 old lap hards. No comparison, really. No comparison. Ooh, Alonso got shafted. No, Alonso had a 5-second stop-go penalty, remember, for over the pit lane. So he's taken his penalty now, rather than not taking it at the end of the race. But look at that there. Hamilton and Russell already purple, or Hamilton purple in the first sector, or last sector already. Keep an eye out on... I'm intrigued to see what the lap times are this time around when they've completed a full lap. Do they have the batteries for it, though? Yeah, they will do. Ferrari has done it again. I don't know. We'll see. Track position is key. Track position is key round here. And maybe they think, well, Russ... Because the problem is, do you give up track position at a circuit where it's tough to overtake? I don't think you do. Sainz seems comfortable. He's had the pace. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Charles Leclerc thinks it was the right decision to come in on the mediums, and then they said, "Oh no, we're staying out." Oh, I think Ferrari have overruled Charles Leclerc, and I think that could bite them. It could bite them. So let's see what Russell and Hamilton do this time around. Russell setting purple sectors everywhere. A 37.9 last time around from Carlos Sainz. Let's see what Russell is able to set. A 36.2. That's nearly a 2-second deficit there, made up in one lap alone by George Russell on Carlos Sainz. That was 2 seconds definite on Leclerc. So it's not going to be like this rate. If it's 2 seconds a lap, well, he's going to be up there in about 5 laps time, guys. 5 laps time. And it could be even more as they start to push on those hard compound tyres. The delta could change dramatically. There's a yellow flag. There's another one. It's not over. Alonso into turn 14. What's happened to Alonso? Is he able to get the car going again? Has he spun? Is this a mechanical failure? He is moving slightly, and he's on his way. But is there any debris from that? No, they've got rid of the yellow flag, and it seems to be that Alonso has been able to get going again. What occurred there? Did he lose it on his own? It didn't seem like he was having... It didn't seem like he was fighting anyone. Did he just lose it? Oh, God. Yeah, Alonso's shafted now. I bet he's effing them. You can only imagine the red mist that is across Alonso's face right now inside that helmet. As Hamilton is now purple in the first and second sector. It is definitely hammer time from the two Mercedes boys, as you can visibly see that gap closing between Russell and Leclerc at the moment. Leclerc is going to have to get his proper elbows out here to defend from Russell when he eventually catches him. Is he going to be able to hold off from Sainz? And all the while this is happening, Norris, is he got enough to chase down Carlos Sainz? A 37.6 from Sainz last time around, a 36.4 from Russell, and a 35.8 from Hamilton last time around. Another 2 second deficit, only a 1.2 seconds gain that time around from Russell on Sainz. So we'll see. We'll see if they're able to gain. But oh no, Alonso locked up and went straight on. So that's why there was a yellow flag thrown. So he's okay, locked up on the new tyres. But Lawson in P8, by the way, guys. Go on, Lawboy. Go on. What a result if he finishes in P8. Obviously, Max is hunting him down, so maybe he won't. But I think P9, let's say Max gets him, P9 is still a great result for him in the points. Especially while your teammate's retired from contact. So yeah, not looking good for Yuki. But Piastri, by the way, up in P7, up 10 positions. Started 17th today, ran a track that is very difficult to overtake on, generally speaking. But yes, George Russell, that time around, a 28.3, only 2 tenths faster in the first sector compared to that of Sainz and Norris. So let's see how long these medium tyres actually last. Maybe it was the wrong decision. Maybe Ferrari have pulled a blinder and we was wrong. And we was totally wrong. Guys, just a bit of a side note. We've just hit our PB for viewers. We are at 2,400 peak viewers at the moment. Big appreciation to every single one of you who is in the stream, whether you're new. Hit the subscribe button. We'll be back again for the Japanese Grand Prix next week and every race towards the end of the season. Hopefully everyone is like this. Hopefully every single one is like this, because what a race it's been. But yeah, big thank you guys. If you can hit the subscribe button, we'll be back next week, that is for sure. Also doing sim racing content, and hit the like button. Come on, there's nearly 2,500 of you in here and we've only got 200 likes. Come on, hit the like button. Yeah, Red Bull, Red Bull, you know, they've struggled all weekend and they've struggled today as well. So they stayed out hoping for an extra safety car while everyone else pitted under the initial safety car, and they lost out basically because of that. But yeah, field a bit spread. So for Sainz asking how is this pace, and they're a bit worried. They've said we need faster if you can. So they're a bit worried as Russell 6.4 seconds behind Leclerc at the moment. So last time around, Hamilton and Russell 36.6 and a 36.1. That is definitely a 2 second deficit per lap they are gaining on the fresh medium compound tyres compared to Leclerc, Norris and Sainz. Let's see. So we've got 13 laps remaining, or 12. Yeah, 13 laps remaining. They're going to catch them. It's just how quick can they catch? That's the question. Thank you guys. Yeah, no, if you appreciate, I love every single one of you. Sounds really corny. No, I much appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying it, guys. Love doing these watch-alongs. Love doing the commentating, and I love watching F1 with like-minded F1 fans. That's what it's all about, guys. Coming together, having a bit of back and forth, and enjoying these races. I watch these races more now through the data and with you guys than I do even with the TV coverage here. So. Lawson, definitely driver of the weekend so far. I would say, actually, at the moment, Sainz. I feel like Sainz has been very, very impressive this weekend. Continued on from Monza, obviously where he got pole position. Got pole position here again this weekend. He's looked very calm and collected this weekend. And I'm really, really been impressed by that, especially by someone who has been prone to mistakes in the past. I don't know. Just seems to have flicked a switch or something over the last couple of weeks, Carlos Sainz. This season, or the last few races, we're seeing a different Carlos Sainz. We're seeing a feisty Sainz, a quicker Sainz. It's nice to see. He's got potential, and it's good to see it coming to fruition. So, Verstappen, about to get his own back on Liam Lawson, the man who knocked him out of Q3 or Q2 yesterday in qualifying. He's going to get his revenge. But, right, so, Russell, let's keep an eye on that gap. That gap has come down from 6.5 seconds to 4.4 seconds now from last lap around. He's going to catch Leclerc in around 2.5, 3 laps time. Has he got enough to catch the front two, though? That is the question. We will see. We will see. They really need to get past. Thank you all the subs flying in. Much appreciated. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, Russell and Lawson and Verstappen getting side by side there as they went through turn 16 and 17. I bet Lawson loves that. I bet he didn't expect to be going side by side with Max Verstappen a few races ago or this season. Obviously when he was starting his Super Formula career this year. So Russell, 3.8 seconds. Keep an eye on that interval, guys. It is closing. The gap has come down slightly from Norris and Sainz there last time around. Norris made half a second of a gap there than Sainz on the last lap. So maybe Norris has just been saving his tyres a little bit for a move on Sainz. All the talk has been about the Mercedes and the Ferraris today, and Norris has just kind of gone about his business. And yeah, definitely could he get his first win today? Possibly. If Norris and Sainz start fighting, if Norris is able to get on the back of Sainz and start fighting, that will only play into the Russell and Hamilton's hands, because that will just bring them back so quickly. I hope that's the case, because we'll be in for an absolute stormer of the last few laps. Whew. Get rid of Tilkey. Why get rid of Tilkey? I've got mods in here, so the missus is in here. So if you do anything, if you spam, if you chat shit, excuse my language, but you are being watched. It's not what we're about, guys. It's not what we're about. Overtake the turn sketchy. Leclerc doesn't want to give up positions. Yes, it could do. But I feel like Leclerc isn't going to have much of an opportunity to defend. I think Russell and Hamilton are just going to have too much. The move will get done most likely down this stretch of track right now. DRS open into turn 7. They're just going to have too much traction out of turn 5. And with the DRS, it'll be an easy overtake and not even have to go side by side through turn 7. But yeah, next lap around, I think it was a 36.7 last time around from George, and a 38.8 from Leclerc, of course a 38.1 from Norris, and a 38.0 from Sainz. So a bit more of a response there from Sainz, slightly staying ahead of Norris. But what we got, 11 laps remaining or 10 laps remaining pretty much. Russell, 1 point. It's out of the slow. It's out of the slow corners where you need the traction. That is where Russell and Hamilton are proper gaining. That's where that extra grip comes into it. And look at it. Look at the gap. He might actually be within DRS after this corner. No. Didn't make up as much time there. So maybe not as rear limited turn 14 as what the turn 13 And the other corners are maybe turn 16 and 17 he's able to. Oh, I tell you what, this could be moved done. This could be moved done next time they get round to turn 5, because I think George is going to have the grip here to get up very close to Leclerc. He's already in DRS, and he had DRS activated down the main straight, start-finish straight there. So keep an eye out on this battle between George Russell and Leclerc. This is important for George to get past Leclerc. If he wants this win today, he needs to get past Leclerc now. Is he able to get past it? Is he close enough? I'm not sure. 6 tenths behind down this stretch now into turn 7 is enough for George to get past him. No, it isn't. He needs to be under half a second. And Leclerc is going to fight tooth and nail. That is going to be a very wide Ferrari through this sector right now. There is another opportunity down turn 13 to turn 14 where DRS is open. And there's a yellow flag. There's a yellow flag. And I think Bottas went on, had a little spin. Oh, he stopped. Bottas has stopped. No. Are we going to get a safety car right at the end? Bottas has stopped, but where has he stopped? Where has Bottas stopped? As Russell is about to try and make an overtake on Leclerc down into turn 14 with DRS open, and he gets the move done. Leclerc can do nothing about it as they go through turn 14, and while Bottas's marker is still there, he is not moving, so I wonder if he's pulled off into an escape road, and the car is actually safe to remove, but obviously the track map hasn't removed it as of yet. But obviously Leclerc under attack now from Hamilton. I think Hamilton's got Leclerc through the last corner. No, he hasn't. I think he thought about it. Maybe he had to back out, but Leclerc is basically, the two Mercedes are going to get past Leclerc within a single lap here. And Russell now only 6.5 seconds behind Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz. Oh, has he got enough? Has he got enough to catch? I don't know. Possibly. I think 38.5 last time around. Obviously, he got held up behind Leclerc. Lewis is going to have Leclerc before they've even got down into turn 7. So Bottas's car has been removed now. So yeah, Bottas did pull off into an escape road. So that's okay for him. But what about... I'm just trying to keep it out on the intervals here. So 28.7 for Russell. Norris, funny enough, was actually faster for the first sector last time around than Russell was. So let's see if those medium tyres are able to stay with it. But yeah, Russell did a very nice cutback with the extra traction on Charles Leclerc. Nice sweet move there. Right, but let's see when they come around the start finish line again what the gap is. You can see there that Russell through the middle sector, where obviously the really limited part of the circuit is. That is where the Mercedes guys are really gaining on, of course, the 33 old lap hard tyres of Sainz and Norris. This is going to be an amazing finish. They're going to catch. They're going to catch. Oh. Oh, guys. Oh. Sainz deserves to win it. He does. I'd also like to see Lando win it. But I'd also like to see Russell Hamilton win it. Like, I love being in this position. It's great. It's great. Oh, guys, we're in for a stormer of a finish. 37.3 last time around for George Russell, and a 37.9 for Hamilton. Of course, Hamilton's lap was slightly impeded by overtaking Leclerc. So 1.4 seconds gained that last time around by George Russell. This could come down to the last couple of laps, guys, I think, with overtaking opportunities. Of course, George has got to overtake Norris and Sainz to get the win. So how much time will he lose overtaking Norris? So we'll see. But yeah, we're in for a stormer at the moment. So let's have a run through the field a little bit further down. So Leclerc in 5th place now. That's pretty much where he's going to finish. Gasly bringing it home for the Alpines as long as their engine doesn't blow up again in P6. Verstappen in P7. Possibly could still get a P6 here. I think he's going to catch Gasly before the races end. Piastri in P8. Up 9 positions. Not bad for him considering he started from 17th. Lawson up a position in P9. I think he's going to be okay. His lap time lasts... Ooh, I don't know, actually. Lawson is going to be under attack by Albon and Perez very quickly because they're on medium tyres. So Lawson... Oh, no. Lawson could finish outside the points here. They've kept him on the hard tyre to the end. I think he's going to run out of laps. I think there's going to be too many laps remaining for Lawson to defend. He wants that. He wants there to be a couple of laps less at the moment. But still, will be a good performance for him. Will be a good performance. It's been very solid. No big learning curve for him. He's going to get another opportunity in Japan, in Suzuka, where he's already raced this year in the Super Formula series. So that should help him. Hamilton reporting, is it too big of a gap for us to catch? No, negative. So importantly, Lando did just get within the DRS of Carlos Sainz there, but he's just lost it. So let's see if Lando is going to start fighting with Sainz. I think Lando's going to get a move on there because he knows he has two very quick Mercedes coming up behind him. Surely the engineers are reporting to him, you need to get this move done now. You need to get ahead of Sainz because there's a possibility here Lando might not even finish on the podium. So the way it's going, because look, Russell 2.9 seconds behind now, and Hamilton very close behind Russell as well. And they can smell the win. They can smell the win. No, Mrs. Stuffey is the missus. Yeah, the name should give it away. But guys, there's 2,600 of you, 2,700 of you. Much appreciated. Big love. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It'd be much appreciated. We'll be back here again for the Japanese Grand Prix next weekend. Qualifying on the Saturday morning, my time, in the UK. And Sunday morning as well. It's going to be an early one for me, but I love it. And I'm glad you guys do too. So if you get it like button as well, come on. We're under 300 likes and there's nearly 3,000 of you in this stream. Come on, you can do it. Get us to 500. Should be 1,000 really. Half of you should hit that like button. But yeah, no, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. If the alerts don't show up when you subscribe, that's how YouTube works if you don't have your alerts set to public. So if you have subbed, hasn't shown up, thank you very much. If it has shown up as an alert, I'm sorry, I've missed it. Of course, we've had a very busy race in front of us. So Norris in the DRS now of Sainz, but importantly, is not gaining the DRS of Sainz down before the DRS sections. So let's see. So 2.08 seconds behind Russell now. We have 6 laps remaining. Let's see what the gap is going to be. I think Russell's going to be in the DRS of Norris through at the end of this lap. This is where they really gain the time here. Look at that delta. Look at that interval just come down. Just look at it come down. Just look at it come down. Ooh, is anyone F1 iRacing content on it? There will be next week. Yep, we'll be at Suzuka. So I'll be racing at Suzuka. I've missed this week because I've been focusing on a Super Formula. And Liam Lawson is about to get overtaken by Alex Albon. No. And Sergio Perez. Damn it. Good left. Good effort, though. Good effort, Lawson. I'll tell you what, he's still holding on. Actually. Go on, Law Boy. He's held on to it. I thought it was done and dusted. Showing his racing chops. Go on. Go on. So, importantly now, guys, Norris is in the DRS of Sainz. And guess who's close behind? Russell and Hamilton. So Sainz, Norris is he going to have enough to have an opportunity at Carlos Sainz down into turn 7 here? This is going to get very tight between them. So Hamilton has DRS on Russell, but I think Hamilton is kind of probably going to have to hold station and allow Russell to go for the win on this one. He's not going to be allowed to fight his teammate. But let's see, Norris not able to overtake Sainz this time around, but we know how quick the Mercedes are on those medium tyres through this middle sector. Watch that gap come down. Will Russell be able to have an opportunity on Norris down into turn 14? Is he going to be able to stay close enough? He might do. He's going to have better traction out of turn 14, out of turn 13 than that of Norris, who's on 37 lap old hard tyres. Here we go. DRS will be activated. Of course, Norris is going to have DRS on Sainz as well. But how close is Russell able to stay to Norris there as they head down into turn 14? Norris has done just enough, but under braking, Russell is going to have that much more grip as well than that of Norris on the hard compound tyres. Hamilton all the while ready to pounce. He must be chomping at the bit to have a go, but he can't because it's his teammate in front of him. And this is just going to allow Carlos Sainz probably a little bit of breathing space. Let's see. We have 4 laps remaining. 4 laps, guys, and we have 4 cars 4 drivers within 2 seconds of each other. This is F1. This is F1. This is all led up to this, guys, to this last couple of laps dash. Do not go anywhere whatsoever. Do not go anywhere. Let me know who you think is going to win this race in chat right now. Do you think Carlos Sainz, who is led from start to start of this race? Do you think Lando Norris in the McLaren? Do you think it is going to be George Russell? Do you think there's going to be something that happens in front and Hamilton's allowed to go through? And Albon's brought out the yellow flag in corner 13. Has Albon crashed? He's got going again. Albon has got going again. So thankfully, I'm glad Albon's been able to get going again, because that means that this race is still underway. I don't want anything to get in the way of this race, because Sainz, Norris, Russell and Hamilton are in for an absolute stormer of a finish here, and maybe even some lap traffic could come into play here. But Albon, that's helped Liam Lawson, because Liam Lawson is now only going to lose a position to Perez, and should get a points finish. So well done, Liam Lawson there, as much as I love Albon. So George Russell making a move on Lando down into turn 14. They're side by side. Has he been able to get that extra traction out of the corner and overtake Lando? He's all over the back of him as we speak. They can't even see the dot of Lando Norris. Is he going to make a move down into turn 16? Oh, no. He's not been able to hold it. He's not been able to get past Norris there. And what that's done, see what I said about fighting at Singapore? That's allowed a bit of important breathing space to Carlos Sainz, 1.5 seconds. And that is why Russell had to make that move stick there, because we have 3 laps remaining. And if Russell doesn't get this move done now on Norris, who doesn't have, importantly, the DRS to Carlos Sainz down into turn 7, Sainz will probably win this race. So, Norris has just sneaked the DRS. How has he done that? Norris has just sneaked the DRS there out of the couple of last corners. Sorry, a couple of turn 3 and turn 4, and sneaked the DRS from Carlos Sainz. That was so important for Lando Norris there. Otherwise, he would have been a sitting duck from those Mercedes. And Hamilton all over the back of his teammate, chomping at the bit, wanting to get involved in this. This is amazing. This is so good. So I'm not even watching the TV coverage. I'm not even watching it, but it's great to see 4 cars within, just so close to each other. So George Russell needs to stay close here. He needs to stay close to Norris here. Is he going to have an opportunity down into turn 14? I don't think he is, because once again, Norris has got DRS, importantly, from Carlos Sainz. And this is just helping Sainz as they head into turn 14. Is Russell going to have another opportunity here down through turn 14, the new part of the Singapore Grand Prix? No, he's too far back. Maybe he's reevaluating his decision here. But I think this is Carlos Sainz's now. I think Carlos Sainz has won this race. There are 2 laps remaining. I just don't see Russell getting past Norris and then getting past Sainz the lap after. If he wants to win this race, Russell, he has to get past Norris now down into turn 7. It is all or nothing, to be perfectly honest with you. Otherwise, he is not going to have an opportunity at Carlos Sainz on the last lap. He has to stay close. I don't think he is at this moment in time. He's 5 tenths behind. 5 tenths, and Norris has DRS, remember, and I don't think he's going to have enough here. Surely he's got to use a bit of extra battery here to try and overtake Norris. And he hasn't. No, he hasn't. And I think, barring a mistake, I think this might be the win for Carlos Sainz. Russell just cannot get past Norris while Norris has the DRS. He's missed his one opportunity. And Norris, importantly, I don't know how, has gained the DRS back from Carlos Sainz after he lost it. And that has just kept the Mercedes back. Hamilton can't do anything, because I bet Hamilton wishes that it wasn't his teammate in front of him, guys. Because if it wasn't, you damn know well Hamilton would be just sending it. But he has to be patient here, and Hamilton is probably going to miss out on a podium unless Russell does try and move on Norris and they not able to overtake. But what a finish this is, as we only have a couple of corners left. Is Russell going to be able to get on the brakes late and overtake Norris once again down into turn 16? He does seem to be a little bit closer. He's 3 tenths behind. Let's see if he's able to make a move. No. So, to be honest, that is it for the win. Unless Carlos Sainz has a dramatic mistake here. I think Sainz has done enough, because Norris is having to Norris is having to defend from George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. So let's see what happens as we come on to your final lap of this amazing Singapore Grand Prix, guys. Please hit the subscribe button and the like button on, obviously, as this last lap is underway. So Norris, importantly, has the DRS to Sainz at the moment. Russell is a lot closer this time around. Is something going to happen between Russell and Norris down into turn 7? This is the time where Russell will probably have an opportunity to overtake Norris down into turn 7, but maybe not. I think he's lost a bit under traction, and he's not maintained that 3 tenths behind Norris as they head into turn 7. And that's it. And that's it. I think that is pretty much it, unless Russell is able to stay close. Well, it's not. I say that's it. I'm not giving the commentators curse here, guys. There is still the middle sector. There is still probably one more viable overtaking opportunity here down into turn 14 and 16. So we will see. Sainz has still got to be calm and collected here as all of this is happening behind him. One slight mistake and there's a yellow flag. Russell spun. Russell's gone off. Russell has gone off. Oh my God, Russell has gone off into turn 10. That has allowed Hamilton to jet up into P3. And what happened is Hamilton able to make a move on Norris and get P2. Let's see. Hamilton, Sainz, as they go round through turn 14. Russell has lost it. I think he's in the wall. And Hamilton, has he got a drive here on Lando Norris as they head down into turn 16? Sainz, only a couple of corners away from a brilliant win. This will be, and I think that is it as they come round the last couple of corners. Sainz has led from start to finish. It's been a supreme performance and mature drive from Carlos Sainz. Absolutely brilliant. And here's your Singapore Grand Prix winner. Lando Norris P2, Hamilton P3. Leclerc, Verstappen may even get 4th as he's going side by side with Leclerc out of the last couple of corners. Is Leclerc going to be able to hold on to a charging Verstappen right at the end of his P5? Would never have thought, but Verstappen would be able to get this close to the podium, and he holds him off. Oh, just about there, and George Russell falls to the back of the grid there. I'm just watching the TV coverage, guys, to see exactly what happened with George, and George hit the curb on the right-hand side on the entry to the corner. Sparks went, and he went straight into the wall. I'd love to see that back to see exactly what happened. A very odd one there, to be perfectly honest with you. Seemed like something almost broke. I think he hit the curb and actually broke his front wing on the right-hand side. But guys, whoa. That is F1. That is F1. Who loves F1? Who loves F1? Ah, Kaka, thank you very much there for the donation. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, we hit a peak of over 3,000 viewers. Much appreciated. Hit the subscribe button, guys. We'll be back here to do it all again next week. All again next week at the Japanese Grand Prix for Suzuka. A phenomenal track. And hopefully it's as good as this. What a race. Who enjoyed that? Who enjoyed that? Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Magnussen got a point. I'm so glad the commentators curse. Oh, guys, the chat's going too quick to see what you guys are saying, but everyone seems to be over the moon with that race. What a race. This is what we've potentially missed out on all season. What a race. So, guys, let's have a rundown of the final grid. I haven't even actually looked to see where everyone has finished. Sainz is your winner. A brilliant performance from him. We'll have a driver of the day in a second. Stay around for that poll. Lando Norris in second. A great drive from him. Hamilton getting a P3. My cheeky little bet didn't come to fruition, but I'll be happy with that. I'm happy with how good that race was. Leclerc P4, Verstappen P5, and Gasly P6. Piastri up 10 positions to P7. A potential what if Piastri didn't get knocked out into Q1 yesterday. Potentially could have seen 6 cars fighting at the front today. We have Perez in 8th. Not too bad for a Red Bull who has struggled all weekend and had damage from very early on with contact with Tsunoda. We have Liam Lawson. Go on the boy. Go on, Law Boy. In P9. Getting his first point in F1 in only his 3rd race in F1, guys. Magnussen gets a point. We also get Albon in P11. Zhou, P12, 7 positions up after starting in the pit lane. Hulkenberg, P13, Sargent, P14, and Alonso after his spin and 5-second time penalty for his pit lane cross entry in P15. Russell not finishing there. I still want to see exactly what happens from his onboard, from a different angle. I think he's hit the raised curb or he's hit the wall on turn 10, on the entry to turn 10, and he's just gone straight on because there were sparks that were flying, which indicates front wing damage. And then, of course, Bottas, Ocon, and Tsunoda all retired from the race. Take a breather, guys. Take a breather. Whoa, what a race. I love the Singapore Grand Prix. That's 2 years in a row. We've had absolutely amazing races. Thank you to everyone who has subbed. I apologise I haven't been able to get through every single one of you who has subbed during this stream. There's been so much that happened. All of the likes as well. We hit our PB of viewership, guys. We hit our PB of over 3,000 viewers. I've never had that before, so much appreciated. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to continuing what we've done here. So let's do our driver of the day, guys. I'm going to run a poll. I think there's a few options here. So let's go to our poll. The last lap should be under investigation. No, there's nothing. It was just great. Everything was great racing. It was very intriguing to watch throughout, to be perfectly honest, with how everyone was waiting for that opportunity to overtake. No one made a mistake. We really saw why they are some of the top drivers in the world, because no one made a mistake, apart from George Russell at the end there, which is key. Right, so we're going to say Carlos Sainz, Liam Lawson, I think, who else? Piastri, because of how many positions he gained, guys. And I think also, who else do we have here? I think maybe Lando Norris. Let me know who your driver of the day is, guys. Interested to see. Ooh, they didn't want Hamilton third. Hamilton just waited. Hamilton was close behind Russell. Russell knew Hamilton wasn't going to go for a move, and he just waited to see exactly what was going to happen. And he was there to pick up the pieces, which is what exactly occurred. I bet he wished, it looked like he did actually have the pace on George, I think. But Hamilton's a good team player. George had held that position all throughout the race, and he had the right to go for the win. He couldn't make that move on Norris, and then he's made a silly mistake on the last lap. It is a mistake, I think, because he hit the curb, and Hamilton's just been there to swoop in and get that podium. But really, really good drive. I mean, it's just, what a race. What a race. Oh, Max did really well on the medium tyre. The car came alive on the medium tyre compared to the hards. That's why they was looking to goal hang the Red Bulls. They were looking to for that late safety car or VSC so that they could get a cheap pit stop. Happened. The VSC came out just after they'd made their pit stop, actually. So a bit unfortunate for them. But still, yeah. Verstappen nearly got Leclerc on the line there for a P5. I didn't think he was going to be on for a P5 after he took those medium tyres because he ended up, where did he end? He was like, what, 15th, 14th or something? So he made up a considerable amount of positions on those medium tyres. Sainz for a great win. Leclerc just needs to focus more on his car and speed, but a great race today. Yeah, well, Sainz, Leclerc was always used as the sacrificial lamb today, to be honest. He didn't really have the pace of Sainz all weekend. He started on the soft tyre. He actually wanted to go on the medium tyre when the VSC came out. Actually came over the radio and said, yeah, I think that's a great decision, or I think that's the best decision. And Ferrari overruled him and said, no, we want you on the hard. So they wanted him as a blocker. Maybe Leclerc, he held George up for about a lap. Maybe that one lap was what was needed. That made the difference. Obviously, if Leclerc got overtaken pretty quickly, or he wasn't even there to be overtaken, George and Hamilton would have been on the back of Norris and Sainz an extra couple of laps earlier. So which can make all the difference. Perez got back to 8th after bit. Yeah, Perez did really well. I mean, he hated the car all weekend. Got damage on the first lap with Tsunoda and slogged it home. I can't imagine that was an enjoyable drive for him, though. Did Hamilton hit? No, I don't think he did. So I want to see it back. Russell hit the curb on the outside. So between the wall and the track on the outside of turn 10 on the entry, there's a curb. And I think he's hit the raised part of the curb. Or he's even hit the wall, sorry. And he's damaged his wing because as he went off into the escape road section, his car was sparking, which indicates there's front wing damage, or the front wings ended up under the car. So that's what I think. That's what I think happened. Russell messed up. Yeah. No, big thanks, Adam. Thanks everyone who's tuned into the stream. I really appreciate all of you. It's been an absolute mega stream once again. Hit that like button, guys. Hit the subscribe button. We'll be back next week. I think we've had once again. I think we've had 300 subs this stream. I think we've had 300 subs this stream. So that's unbelievable. So yeah, the channel's growing. Our community is growing as well. I'm seeing a lot of regular faces back in these streams. And look, it's all good. I know a few of you now having a bit of back and forth with each other about Red Bull and other teams. Look, we all have teams and drivers we prefer, but ultimately we want to see good racing. So, you said Max would finish. Did you say Max would finish top 5 there too, or did you say he'd win? Did you say top 5? Okay, if you said top 5, I'll give you credit for that. I'll give you credit. Someone said he'd win, and I said no chance. But yeah, if Leclerc switched to the medium on the VSC, he would have been a better defender. Reminds of Silverstone. Yes, I think so. Yeah, because he had track position, didn't he? Yeah, did he have? Yeah, he had track position on. Did he have track? No, he didn't have track. No, he didn't have track position. So the reason why they kept him out is he didn't have the overall pace for the Mercedes, so he had to have track position to at least hold up the Mercedes. And that's why they kept him out there. So I see why Ferrari made that decision. Obviously, Leclerc wants to be the aggressor. No driver ever wants to be used as a sacrificial lamb or a blocker. But decisiveness today from Ferrari, guys. We actually saw it. Round of applause, everyone. Round of applause in chat for Ferrari. They actually pulled off a decent strategy today. They started Leclerc on the soft compound tyre, made him get in front of Russell, which he did at the start. And then, yeah, he ended up like, yeah, then they held him out there rather than when he wanted to come in on the medium. So what a great result for him. For Ferrari, sorry. Max cannot win today because start 11th but gain top 5. Yeah, definitely. I didn't see him get in the top 5, to be honest with you. Car seemed to come a bit more alive, a bit more comfortable on the medium tyre. That was the case in FP3. They looked okay on the medium tyre. The hard tyre and qualifying was where they were really out of sorts. Look, Singapore is always a bogey track. It's always a bogey track for dominant teams. Mercedes went through it in their dominant years. They always struggled at Singapore. Suzuka next week, I expect to see probably normal service resumed at Suzuka. If they struggle again next week, Red Bull, then I think the technical directives that have been implemented over the last couple of weeks, which is the flexi wing change and something to do with the floor, I don't know the particulars behind it, that would have, if they struggle again next week, then those technical directives have had an actual impact on their performance. But Singapore, look, it's a street circuit. It's always a bit of an outlier in the season for dominant teams. So Suzuka, will see if Ferrari can continue. It's a lot more of a tyre demanding track, so I expect Ferrari to be quick in qualifying. Over the course of a race, suffer again though, as they do. And I expect probably, Red Bull to be quickest. Mercedes and McLaren probably to be the next best, and I think Ferrari will be quick over a single lap, but they'll drop off in a race pace. Because this track isn't very demanding on tyres, so that's why it's been very kind. Oh, I'm watching George Russell's incident back, guys. So let's have a look. Oh, he's clipped the wall. That is such a big driver error from George Russell. So there's a bit of wall that kind of sticks out on the entry to the corner. Oh, that is such a big mistake by George. Oh my God. So he's hit the wall and broke the front right axle. That's why we saw, so the car's dropped, and that's why we saw the sparks. So George has made a complete driver error there. Wow. That is, I'm sorry. I like George. I think he's a great driver, and I think he deserved the podium today, and possibly even the win. But that was a poor mistake to make. He's only got himself to blame. Wow. Hamilton get a penalty? No, Hamilton didn't get a penalty. It does say, though, there's an investigation between car number 11, Perez, and Liam Lawson. No further investigation for causing a collision. Of course there would be. No further investigation between a Red Bull car and an AlphaTauri. Where have we seen that this weekend already? Oh, God, guys. Oh, God. Right, I'm going to... Just listening to see exactly what's happening in the cooldown room. Let's see if the drivers have got anything to say. No Max Verstappen podcast this week, guys. No Max Verstappen podcast. It's on hiatus this week. Did Hamilton get penalised? No, Hamilton didn't get penalised. So at the start of the race, he ran out of tracks, had to take to the runoff. He had to give the positions back to George and Norris. And then the incident at the end with Russell is just Russell's mistake. Hit the barrier and broke his wheel. Lewis has just walked in now. They're just watching all the highlights. Why Russell DNF? Because he crashed. Crashed on the last lap, guys. He crashed on the last lap. You hope Leclerc can have a win this year. Yeah, he needs to. It seems he needs to up his game. Leclerc, Sainz has really upped his game these last, since the summer break. He's definitely been the faster of the Ferrari drivers. So yeah, Sainz definitely placing a case for being a number one driver at Ferrari at the moment. Being very solid, very consistent. Scott. But yeah, what an intriguing race, guys. What an intriguing race. Let's run through this grid one more time. So we have Carlos Sainz in P1, Lando Norris P2, Hamilton in P3. Our first non-Red Bull winner of the year. Max Verstappen, run of 10 wins in a row comes to an end with the win of Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. Leclerc in P4. We have Verstappen P5. Car seemed to have come a bit more alive on the medium compound tyre there. I didn't see him getting P5 today, to be perfectly honest with you. So that was a good second stint for Max there. Gasly P6. Piastri, great drive from him, up from P10. Let's see exactly who driver of the day is. Thank you, Frank. Much appreciated. Driver of the day is Carlos Sainz with an overwhelming 63% of the vote. Liam Lawson in second with 15%. Piastri. Oh, I put Piastri. It's like as if it's a pastry. Piastri in last with 8% and Norris with 14%. I am going to end that poll, guys, because I think that's pretty conclusive of who our driver of the day is. I have to agree with you. I think Carlos Sainz was driver of the day. I think it was a very mature performance from him. Very consistent, didn't make any mistakes. He had to cope with the safety car restart. He had to overtake Max. Did he overtake Max? No, so he had to deal with Max on his behind. We had to... he managed his tyres throughout the whole race, and then he held off the fight of Lando behind as well. Very, very easy to make a small mistake around a circuit like Singapore. So to lead in that manner that he did today, I think thoroughly deserved. And I think Liam Lawson is probably close seconds. Well, no, actually not a close second. Liam Lawson is second. And then you could arguably say Norris and Lawson together. So Piastri's done pretty well, but I think a lot of his was made up on pit stops. So, but yeah, no, guys, thoroughly enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, please subscribe. I know we've had a number of them. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We're 70 away, 80, yeah, 70 likes away from the from getting 500. So yeah, if you can, that'd be much appreciated. I will be back. Oh, when is the next race? Let's have a look at exactly, before I head off, let's have a look at what races we have remaining. So I do normally just go on Sky F1 schedule because it's easy to see. So I'm going to close that down. We can see here, guys. So let's have a look. So that is now. And we have next week, we have the Japanese Grand Prix. Oh my God, I will not be doing the practice sessions, guys. 3 o'clock and 6:45 in the morning and 3:15 in the morning, my time, UK time. Definitely a no-no. Qualifying will be at 6 o'clock on air, so start at 7, Grand Prix at 6. It's going to be an early one for me next week, so I'll be around for then. We have Qatar, which is apparently when Danny Ricciardo is going to be back in the car. Then we have the United States Grand Prix, which is COTA, Circuit of the Americas, Mexico, Brazil, Vegas, and Abu Dhabi. So we've still got 6 races remaining. 6 races. So Liam Lawson is only going to have Japan left to race this season, guys. Then Danny Rick is going to be back in. So Danny Rick's going to get he's going to get 5 races if he's fit enough to show his chops for the rest of the season. But I think Liam Lawson has secured a seat for next year. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. So tell me if there's another F1 live race. Well, yeah, not till next week, Japan, where we'll be back for it. And then Brazil, Vegas, Abu Dhabi. And there we go. There we go. Right. Oh, no. Wrong one. Hang on. There we go, guys. There we go. Yeah, much appreciated. What a race that was. Is that your most favourite race of the season so far? I think that's got to be the most favourite race. Carlo was laughing while backing Norris up. He knew. Yeah. Well, this is the thing, is that it was good to see. Like, I know I can only go from a sim racing perspective. That's my only kind of like experience with racing. And I know there's certain tracks on sim racing where you really have to be precise in making a move. So there's times when you're in a fight for the lead or at the front, and you really have to be patient and go, okay, I'm not going to make a move until I can decisively make it. Otherwise, I'm going to lose so much time to the cars behind me and bring them into this fight, or I'm just going to lose, I'm just going to lose positions to cars who are already directly behind me. So you really have to be decisive in your moves, and that's what George wasn't. George didn't. The time he made that overtake attempt on Lando, it didn't work out for him. He wasn't decisive. He didn't get it. Well, yeah, he just didn't get it done, and yeah, unfortunately, he hit the wall at the end there. But he made a good overtake on Charles Leclerc, though. He did do well up until that point, but ultimately he's ended up without a podium, without any points for Mercedes. Great commentary. Thank you, Spud. Much appreciated. And Mikael, thank you for the sub there, buddy. R-Dash, we've had so many this stream, too many to go through. And there's still over 200 of you still sitting here. But I'm now going to go catch my breath. I'm now going to go have a shower because it's a bit... I've worked up a bit of a sweat doing all this commentary with how drama that was. I'm going to go take in the post-race interviews and comments and analysis. And yeah, maybe crack myself open a cold one. Honestly, trying to explain it is futile. Did his best and messed it up. Yeah. So, but anyway, have a lovely rest of your Sunday afternoon, guys, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. Big thank you for everyone dropping by. I might do a stream later on and do my own racing in the Super Formula Car on iRacing. So if you want to come and join me for that and see, I'm a dab handy. Yeah, be sure to turn those notifications on. And yeah, we will see you. If not, and you're going to turn up for the next watch along, we will see you in a week's time for Suzuka, which will be a bit earlier. That is for sure. So yeah, be sure to check that out. But yeah, thanks guys. Have a lovely rest of your Sunday. Bye. And a big thank you to the mods, as always, for keeping the stream clean. Thank you guys. Couldn't do it without you.